Chapter 249. Many thanks, big brother. The teenager cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng and thanked him. Not waiting for Ning Cheng to speak, he quickly walked into a merchant house not far away. When Ning Cheng saw the name of this merchant house, he knew that he might have gotten himself into trouble. This merchant house was none other than the Mirage Exploring Merchant House that the Soul Essence Cultivator had previously spoken about. This youth's injuries had not yet fully healed, and yet he was in such a hurry to enter the merchant house. It was obvious that he wanted to sell the Mirage stones in his hands. Coupled with the wounds on this teenager's back, it was obvious that he had been sneak attacked because of the Mirage stone. The youth estimated that he would not be able to keep the Mirage stone. As such, he quickly decided to sell the Mirage stone. Sneak attacking the youth from behind and failing to kill him meant that this person's cultivation was not much higher than the youth's. Furthermore, the fact that the other party was able to sneak up on the young man meant that he was also an acquaintance of the young man. If something were to happen to the young man, his acquaintances would naturally benefit. Now that he had interfered, trouble would definitely fall on him. Ning Cheng shook his head and did not take this trouble to heart. He already knew that although that Soul Essence Cultivator had said it beautifully, that fighting and assassinations were not allowed. But as long as it didn't happen in a crowded place, the ship wouldn't care. A cultivator with a similar cultivation level to this young man was not qualified to cause trouble for him. He had been here for many years, and the people had changed a lot, but some morals and habits could not be changed. When he saw someone in need of help, he would always extend his hand out of habit. "You're in trouble. Quickly find a place to hide and don't come out." A crisp sound transmission fell into Ning Cheng's ears. Ning Cheng looked around, but could not find who had sent him this sound transmission. Ning Cheng had initially thought that the person who sneak attacked the youth would at most have the same cultivation level as the youth, but now he suddenly felt that his thoughts seemed to be somewhat wrong. He quickened his pace and returned to his room. He decided to endure it for 3 months. Ning Cheng had only returned to his room for half a day when someone touched the restrictions covering his room. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness fell outside the restriction and found a very dignified and beautiful woman. "May I ask, why are you looking for me?" Ning Cheng knew that on this ship, the other party would absolutely not dare to start a fight in his room. Not to mention that this beautiful woman only had the cultivation of profound congealing 9th level, as such he did not care about her at all. The beautiful woman did not seem to be used to facing a male cultivator alone, causing her face to turn slightly red, as she spoke in a soft tone. "Because Yong is my cousin, he was injured by someone. Many thanks for your help today. I came here specifically to thank you." "Oh, this is just a small matter, no need to be polite." Ning Cheng waved his hand and spoke in a very casual manner. The beautiful woman, on seeing that Ning Cheng did not invite her into the room, paused for a moment, and then took the initiative to speak up. "Because you have seen Yong Yi's injuries, and now that Yong Yi has recovered with your help, I would like to ask you what kind of injuries he suffered at that time. I am afraid that such a thing would happen again." Can I come in for a seat?" Ning Cheng showed a faint smile. "Please come in." When this beautiful woman came in, Ning Cheng once again activated the restrictions covering the room. Seeing Ning Cheng seal the restriction once again, the beautiful woman just smiled and did not feel surprised. Instead, she took off her robe. The beautiful woman was wrapped in a coat, so she didn't feel anything. Now that she had taken off her outer clothes, her pure white neck was exposed, and her astonishing figure was immediately revealed. Curvaceous and incomparably graceful. "I heard that you boarded the ship midway. What kind of ship did you take before?" After the beautiful woman came to Ning Cheng's room, she looked around for a long time before she spoke. Ning Cheng stood up, suddenly raised his hand and made a few hand gestures, before he sat down and began to talk nonsense. The beautiful woman was attracted by Ning Cheng's nonsense, and even forgot the purpose of her coming here. It was not until the time it took for half an incense stick to burn had passed, that she finally realized what she had come here for. "What do you think of me?" The beautiful woman interrupted Ning Cheng's nonsense, as she spoke to Ning Cheng with a soft smile. Her tone no longer had the dignity from before. Ning Cheng nodded. "Not bad, very good." "Well, I also think that you are very heroic. I really want to thank you. Can you come over here?" The beautiful woman's tone was somewhat murmuring as she spoke. She had already stood up, with a bit of desire in her eyes. "What is your name?" Ning Cheng stood up. "Chang Siki." Ning Cheng gave an "oh" sound as he unexpectedly took off his coat and walked towards the beautiful woman. The beautiful woman was somewhat surprised. She did not think that things would be so simple. This cultivator's concentration was simply too poor. She had not even started, yet he had already taken the bait? It was not until Ning Cheng raised his hand and completely pulled away her hair that she came to her senses and immediately began to scream. She was at profound congealing 9th level and had a higher cultivation compared to Ning Cheng, yet she did not even move and instead only knew how to scream. At this time Ning Cheng actually sat down and waited for the beautiful woman to scream for a while before he spoke. "Your screams are useless. Your voice will not pass out, only my voice will be able to pass out." Saying that, Ning Cheng picked up the coat that the beautiful woman had placed on the side, as his tone suddenly changed. "Chi-Chi, the next time you do not have any spirit stones, come to me again. You can go back first, otherwise some people will start to suspect." Bang! A loud explosion sounded as the restrictions covering Ning Cheng's room suddenly burst open, revealing a very strong-looking male cultivator standing at the door with a resentful look on his face. This strong-looking male cultivator already had the cultivation of profound core 7th level. When he saw Ning Cheng gently put his coat on the beautiful woman's shoulder, he raised his trembling hand and pointed at the beautiful woman and spoke, You actually did it? You are courting death? You even dare to do something to my Dao companion?" The strong-looking male cultivator did not wait for the beautiful woman to speak, as he once again pointed his finger at Ning Cheng, while his entire body was overflowing with a murderous aura. At this time the entrance to Ning Cheng's room was already surrounded by many cultivators. All of them were staring at this scene with great interest. Ning Cheng leisurely put on his coat and spoke out in a loud voice. "This is the mirage-gazing conglomerate's ship. Do you dare to start a fight in my room? Besides, me and Chi-Chi are both willing. Moreover, I have also paid the spirit stones. Are you blind? Can't you see that this spirit stone bag is something that I gave to you?" Even if Ning Cheng did not speak, many people had already seen the storage bag hanging on the waist of the beautiful woman. This beautiful woman had a ring, but now that she hung the storage bag on her waist, it was obvious that it was not her own. "Senior apprentice brother, The beautiful woman was being stared at by so many people, causing her hands to tremble. Her clothes and hair were in a mess. Even a fool would know what had happened. "From the beginning to the end, I did not hear you call me that slut." The male cultivator was so angry that his tone was somewhat out of tune. He had only spoken half of what he wanted to say, but he knew that he could not say it out loud, and quickly shut his mouth. However, the onlookers already knew what had happened, and also knew that this male cultivator wanted his woman to seduce the cultivator in the room, but they did not expect that it would turn out to be true. Ning Cheng frowned. He felt that something was not right with this matter. According to common sense, if he did such a thing, it would definitely disgust the other party, so why did he feel that something was not right? That beautiful woman seemed to have cooperated with him a bit too much. "Deacon Rong, on the mirage-gazing conglomerate's ship, there is a cultivator trying to seduce my Dao companion. Can I ask how to deal with this matter?" The male cultivator's anger suddenly disappeared, as if he had already recovered his calm. Instead, he cupped his fists towards a white-faced late-stage profound core cultivator next to him. This white-faced late-stage profound core cultivator gave an "in" sound, and spoke in a neither fast nor slow manner. "My mirage-gazing conglomerate does not interfere in personal matters, but the mirage-gazing conglomerate has always been fair and just. Since this kind of scandal has happened, then we cannot just sit back and watch. Number 219, your passage fee is for a year's time. Your actions, it really is a disgrace to the face of our mirage-gazing conglomerate. We will refund you half of the passage fee. You can get off the ship." The white-faced deacon took out a storage bag and threw it to Ning Cheng, as he spoke without any expression on his face. Ning Cheng did not refute, as he placed the spirit stones in the storage bag into his ring, before he turned around and walked out of his room. Since the deacon of the ship was colluding with the other party, then it would be impossible for him to continue staying on the ship. The distance from here to the mirage-gazing island was not far, as such he might as well leave by himself. Moreover, Ning Cheng was also sure that once he stepped off the ship, that strong-looking cultivator would definitely come after him. However, he did not care about it at all. Good, I really appreciate people like you who are able to bring a woman to their room. I will sponsor you with a few spirit stones. I hope that you will not be swallowed by a monstrous beast. A storage bag fell into his hands. Ning Cheng at this time took note of this cultivator. It was a black-robed female cultivator, with an extremely ordinary appearance. Many thanks. Ning Cheng cupped his fists and thanked her. He knew that this voice was the same voice that had warned him in the makeshift market. Chapter 250. Although Ning Cheng was driven out of the ship, he did not immediately leave. He knew that this profound core cultivator would definitely come out to find trouble with him. As such, he did not mind killing this profound core cultivator before walking away. At the same time, he also wanted to interrogate this profound core cultivator about the way to the mirage-gazing island. Taking out the storage bag given to him by the black-robed female cultivator, Ning Cheng did not understand why this black-robed female cultivator wanted to help him. He had never seen this female cultivator before. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the storage bag and found that the storage bag contained 1,000 high-grade spirit stones. In addition to this, there were also 2 jade strips. Ning Cheng picked up one of the jade strips, which only had 3 words written on it. Escape immediately. What does that mean? In just 2 breaths, Ning Cheng decided that no matter what the other party meant, he would have to leave first. He casually threw down a few concealment array flags, while simultaneously throwing down a monitoring array disk as he stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings and disappeared from his place. After escaping for 2,000 miles, Ning Cheng finally stopped. If he went any further, his surveillance formation would lose its effect. Even if he escaped, he still wanted to know who was preparing to leave the ship to attack him. Ning Cheng did not have to wait for a long time. When a vague shadow appeared on the crystal array disk in his hands, Ning Cheng knew that this was because he was too far away from the monitoring array disk. However, if only one person wanted to kill him, they were underestimating him too much. Ning Cheng was just thinking about whether he should go back or not, when the shadow suddenly looked up at him. At the same time, he raised his hand and punched the monitoring array disk left behind by Ning Cheng. The crystal array disk in Ning Cheng's hands immediately gave out a ka sound, and the image on it instantly disappeared without a trace. At this time, Ning Cheng no longer had the mood to go back and take a look. Rather, he desperately stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings, and in an instant flew far away. He did not even have the mood to stop and take a look. The moment his monitoring array disk was destroyed, Ning Cheng immediately recognized the identity of the cultivator chasing after him. It was that intermediate stage soul essence cultivator. In his heart, he could not understand why that intermediate stage soul essence cultivator wanted to kill him. His things had not been exposed. Besides, if an intermediate stage soul essence cultivator wanted to kill him, a profound congealing cultivator, would he even need to use such means to drive him out of the ship? She could just casually kill him in his room. After a few hours, Ning Cheng finally stopped. He believed that even if the opposite party was an intermediate stage soul essence cultivator, they would not be able to catch up with him. Ning Cheng found a small reef island and landed on it. At least he hadn't encountered any high-level demonic beasts yet. On the reef island, Ning Cheng immediately took out another jade strip. He did not understand how the black-robed female cultivator knew that the soul essence cultivator wanted to kill him. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the jade strip. Only then did he discover that this jade strip was a simple directional array disk, which clearly indicated the position of the mirage-gazing island. Seeing this jade strip, Ning Cheng finally felt relieved in his heart. No matter what this female cultivator's purpose was to help him, at least this jade strip was very useful to him. Ning Cheng then saw the message left behind by the female cultivator under the directional jade strip. If you want to know why I am helping you, then you can wait for me at the Tian Continent's Luo Ling City's Precious River rest stop. You didn't disappoint me by helping Xin Yongyi. You are now being watched, so when you leave the mirage-gazing city's transmission array, you will need to change your appearance. Of course, if you don't want to believe me, then you can go to the Tian Continent and not wait for me. just pretend that I never appeared." Ning Cheng was even more puzzled as he put away the jade strip. He did not believe that the female cultivator had saved him just because of his good intentions. For the black-robed female cultivator to help him, then she definitely had a purpose. But no matter what, Ning Cheng felt that the other party's words were not wrong. That is, he must change his appearance before he could go to the mirage-gazing city. Inside a luxurious room on the top floor of the mirage-gazing conglomerate, a man with an expressionless face was sitting on the seat of honor. This man was the intermediate stage soul essence cultivator that Ning Cheng had seen through the monitoring array formation not long ago. Although his face was calm, but his hands were gripping the armrests of the chair with blue veins popping out, it could be seen that he was incomparably angry in his heart. There were two other people in the room. One of them was the robust middle-aged cultivator who had broken the restriction placed on Ning Cheng's room with the cultivation of profound core 7th level, and the other person was the deacon who had driven Ning Cheng off the ship. "Lang Mao, did you say that you came up with this idea yourself?" The intermediate stage soul essence cultivator stared at the robust male cultivator and asked in a deep voice. Yes, I knew that Shin Yongyi had obtained a mirage stone, so I wanted to get my hands on that mirage stone. This method was something that I suddenly thought of. As for that foreign cultivator who dealt with room 219, it was because he was a busybody. The male cultivator called Lang Mao quickly replied with a bow. "That Chang Siki is Shin Yongyi's older cousin. Why would she help you plot against her cousin?" The soul essence cultivator continued to ask. "Siki and I are in a relationship of love." She had previously asked her cousin to hand over the mirage stone, but her cousin was not willing. Since she plotted against Shin Yongyi, after obtaining the mirage stone, she would still give it to me. As Lang Mao spoke until here, his tone turned slightly agitated. Suddenly he knelt down on the ground and spoke in an earnest voice. "I request this sir to show me the monitoring image of Siki in room 219. I really... The soul essence cultivator gave a sneer as he raised his hand and waved out a crystal image. "Take a look at it yourself." In the crystal image, after Chang Siki took off her clothes, Ning Cheng stood up and walked towards Chang Siki, and then waved his hand a few times, causing the image to turn blurry. After that, he could not see anything, and could only hear a kind of sound. Lang Mao clenched his fists. He had already forgotten that there was a soul essence cultivator here, as he roared out in anger, "Bitch, no wonder she proposed this. It turns out that she already wanted to play with men. Oh, this proposal was put forward by Chang Siki on her own initiative?" The soul essence cultivator asked in surprise. Lang Mao immediately reacted. This was the place of a soul essence cultivator. If he dared to act presumptuously, then he would immediately be blasted into flying ash. "Yes, this proposal was put forward by her. I and Chang Siki also met on this ship, because my cultivation method has not reached perfection. As such, I did not have the time to be together with her. But... Even after saying those two buts, Lang Mao did not know how to explain it. In his impression, Chang Siki was definitely not a casual person. Not only was she not casual, but she was also very dignified. But why was it like this? "Well, you can go down." The soul essence cultivator waved his hand impatiently. "Yes." Lang Mao did not dare to speak even half a word in front of this soul essence cultivator, as he quickly withdrew. "You are a deacon of the mirage-gazing conglomerate. I do not mind you making some extra income, but without my permission, you drove away an important person. You will have to go and receive your punishment." After Lang Mao left, the soul essence cultivator coldly stared at the deacon and spoke. The deacon was already trembling with fear. When he heard the soul essence cultivator drive him away, he immediately bowed and withdrew. A puny, profound congealing cultivator unexpectedly was able to discover the monitoring array formation in the room, and was even able to shield it at any time. It really made me underestimate this person. A sudden voice resounded from behind the soul essence cultivator, as a woman wearing blue robes appeared. The soul essence cultivator sat still, and after a while he spoke in a deep voice. "This person was able to escape from the range of my spiritual consciousness in such a short time. It can be seen that he has an extremely powerful flight-type magical weapon. There are also some cultivators on board, which we did not investigate. As for whether or not he was the one who dug out the Mirage tree from the Mirage Ship Island, I am still not sure. After all, with his cultivation here, even if he had a magical weapon with special powers, he would not be able to drive it. The blue-robed woman gave a snort. In any case, immediately send a message to the Mirage-Gazing Island. In case this person arrived at the Mirage-Gazing Island before us, then we will take him down first. If he really managed to get his hands on a Mirage tree, then we must not let this person off. The Soul Essence Cultivator's eyes also flashed with a fiery light. If this person can even get his hands on a Mirage tree, then the Mirage stones on his body would definitely be much more. The blue-robed woman waved her hand. Regardless of whether he managed to get his hands on a Mirage tree or not, the Mirage stones on his body would definitely not be less, I am sure of it. Originally, we were slowly investigating this matter, but it was ruined by a few ants. The Soul Essence Cultivator suddenly raised his hand and brought out a crystal array formation screen. In the middle of the array formation screen, Chang Siki and Lang Mao clearly appeared. Chang Siki, did you really do it with that kid? Lang Mao's face showed a ferocious expression. Chang Siki sneered and spoke, so what if I did it? Lang Mao, who are you to me? You. Lang Mao's hands trembled in anger. Chang Siki's tone turned even colder. I have known you for a few years now. On this ship I need spirit stones everywhere. How many spirit stones did you give me? I went to sleep with him, but you gave me 10,000 spirit stones, and even a low-grade spiritual artifact. I was really blind to actually fancy such a miser like you. I don't even have enough spirit stones for my cultivation. Don't you know that I need a lot of spirit stones? Besides, the proposal from before was also put forward by you. I just mentioned it and you actually really agreed to it. Fortunately, I am not related to you. If I was, then wouldn't I have to go out and sell myself in order to support you? Lang Mao, from now on we will have nothing to do with each other. The Soul Essence Cultivator raised his hand and moved away the crystal array formation screen as he spoke in a cold voice. This little profound congealing cultivator really does have some skills. In less than the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, he managed to seduce Chang Siki. The blue-robed woman frowned, but did not speak. At this time, Ning Qing once again brought out the true Brahma Buddha fire wheel. He could not figure out why this black-robed female cultivator wanted to help him, but he knew that he had to leave the Mirage-Gazing Island as soon as possible. The speed of the true Brahma Buddha fire wheel was simply not something that an ordinary flight-type magical weapon could compare to. Even if some monstrous beasts discovered it, they would not be able to catch up. Even before the monstrous beasts could react, Ning Cheng's true Brahma Buddha fire wheel had already disappeared. Even if Ning Cheng repeatedly controlled the speed of the true Brahma Buddha fire wheel, in just less than half a day, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could already see many ships. Ning Cheng knew that he should have already reached the periphery of the Mirage-Gazing Island. Chapter 251. In addition to these ships, there were also many flight-type magical weapons shuttling back and forth on the nearby sea surface. Ning Cheng put away the true Brahma Buddha fire wheel and brought out a low-grade flight-type spiritual artifact, as he mixed in with the many other flight-type magical weapons and slowly flew towards the Mirage-Gazing Island. Before seeing the Mirage-Gazing Island, the largest island that Ning Cheng had ever seen was the Pubu Island. But now he was sure that the Mirage-Gazing Island was several times larger than the Pubu Island, as his spiritual consciousness could not sweep out to the edge of the island. Ning Cheng had just approached the Mirage-Gazing Island when a spiritual consciousness swept past him. However, these spiritual consciousnesses did not linger for long, as they swept past him before disappearing. Ning Cheng guessed that these spiritual consciousnesses should have been swept by the other cultivators around him, and not because they wanted to inspect him. On the periphery of the Mirage-Gazing Island, there were countless top-grade materials that were used to refine defensive array formations. Ning Cheng was a Tier 6 array formation master. As soon as he saw these array formations, he knew that these defensive array formations were definitely not any less than Tier 8, or even higher. Compared to the defensive array formations of the Mirage-Gazing Island, the defensive array formations of the Pubu Island were equivalent to some simple railings. Ning Cheng's current appearance was similar to the appearance he had when he entered the Law's Way. He was a thin man, with a slightly younger age. After passing through the defensive array formations, Ningcheng finally arrived in front of a huge ancient city. In front of the ancient city there were 3 words, Mirage-Gazing City. There were 2 profound congealing cultivators standing guard at the side of the city gate. When Ningcheng entered the city, these 2 profound congealing cultivators did not even sweep Ningcheng with their spiritual consciousness, not to mention asking Ningcheng for the entrance fee. The city was incomparably bustling, with countless shops, pavilions, restaurants. The cultivators coming and going were incomparably dense. The streets were just like a spider web, spreading out in all directions. One simply did not know where the end of these streets led to, and also did not know what these cultivators were doing in a hurry. Ningcheng found a relatively large merchant house and went inside. This merchant house not only sold magical weapons and pills, but also sold a variety of cultivation methods and jade strips. Ningcheng easily found the 10 uses of the Mirage-Gazing Island that he wanted to buy from the ship. But on the Mirage-Gazing Island, Ningcheng did not have even half a shred of scruples, as he unhesitatingly sold the 10 uses of the Mirage-Gazing Stone, and also bought a few of the Mirage-Gazing Island introduction. Do you have a map of the Mirage-Gazing City, as well as a map of the Mirage-Gazing Island's edge? Ningcheng suddenly remembered that he did not know where the transmission array was located. Of course. The shop assistant casually took out a jade strip and handed it to Ningcheng. This is the map of the Mirage-Gazing City and the sea chart of the Mirage-Gazing Island's edge. It will be 10 spirit stones. From the shop assistant's speed, it could be seen that he didn't know how many such jade slips he had sold. Seeing Ningcheng walk out of the Mirage-Gazing City, the shop assistant spoke in a disdainful tone. Another one who wants to go look for the Mirage Ship Island. Even if he bought everything he needed, I don't know if he would be able to come back alive. This senior apprentice brother, do you want to look for the Mirage Ship Island? Come to our ship's reputation is first. Moreover, we are about to leave the Mirage-Gazing City. Ningcheng had just left the merchant house, when an incomparably handsome-looking manservant chased after Ningcheng, while constantly explaining how awesome their ship was, and how good it was. Moreover, as long as they boarded their ship, then they would definitely be able to find the Mirage Ship Island. Ningcheng finally managed to get rid of this young servant, and immediately headed towards the Tian continent's transmission array. Even if he arrived at the Mirage-Gazing Island in less than a day, he did not dare to be careless. Only when he reached the Heaven continent would he be safe and sound. A soul essence cultivator, even if he knew that he had arrived at the Tian continent, he would not be able to do anything to him. 1,000,000 spirit stones. An old man did not even raise his head, as he casually spoke out. So expensive? Ningcheng was stunned. 1,000,000 spirit stones? How many people would be able to come to the Mirage-Gazing Island? Why were there so many cultivators on the Mirage-Gazing Island? And why were there so many cultivators going out to the sea? If you want to sit, then sit. If you don't want to sit, then move aside. When the old man heard Ningcheng say the word expensive, he immediately snapped at him in a somewhat unhappy tone, while his tone was extremely impatient. Ningcheng reluctantly took out a storage bag and handed it over. I'll sit. These are the spirit stones. Fortunately, he still had some spirit stones on him, otherwise he would not be able to leave the Mirage-Gazing Island. The old man grabbed the storage bag as he swept it with his spiritual consciousness, and found that there were indeed 1,000,000 spirit stones inside, causing his complexion to ease up a bit, as he threw out a jade card and spoke. This is the transmission jade card. Go in and stand in line. After Ningcheng went in, he found that there were already 7 or 8 people waiting inside, causing him to be secretly speechless. Just how many spirit stones did this transmission array earn in a day? These cultivators who came to the Mirage Ship Island to look for opportunities, as such the little bit of spirit stones that they had saved up were all earned by these means of transportation. Big brother, you are also going back to the Tian continent? Ah, I'm also going back. A flirtatious voice sounded from Ningcheng's side, while at the same time a burst of fragrance wafted over. Ningcheng turned around and saw a young man dressed in a luxurious robe. This man not only had a fragrant body, but his voice was also more feminine than a woman's. If not for his Adam's apple and his hair, Ningcheng would have thought that this was a woman. In the Yixing mainland, The hair of male cultivators and female cultivators had a clear difference. As for female cultivators, they would generally tie their hair into a bun. Seeing this man speaking while also extending his orchid fingers, Ning Cheng felt a burst of cold sweat as he coughed and spoke. That's right, what a coincidence. That young man dressed in luxurious robes on seeing Ning Cheng's reply was even more happy as he moved closer to him. Ning Cheng was even more sure that this person must have greeted a lot of cultivators. As such, the others probably did not pay any attention to him. At this time, Ning Cheng heard the cultivator in charge of the transmission array speak up. The next batch, 10 people. After Ning Cheng came in, another 2 cultivators arrived, adding up to a total of 10 people. Ning Cheng hurriedly rushed towards the transmission array. If he spoke a few more words to this sissy, then he would have goosebumps all over his body. With a flash of white light, Ning Cheng and the other 10 people instantly disappeared from the transmission array without a trace. Ning Cheng had only been teleported for less than an hour when a very ordinary-looking middle-aged cultivator walked in. The old man in charge of collecting the spirit stones had his head drooped down, looking listless, but after this middle-aged cultivator came in, he immediately raised his head. "Steward Peng, this is an arrest warrant. The cultivator on the warrant is someone that Deputy City Master Mi had personally named to capture. Take a look at his image. He might be able to disguise himself, but there is a shadow viewing mirror-type artifact here. Any ordinary disguise can be seen through with the shadow viewing mirror. If you are able to find this person, then your reward is 10 million high-grade spirit stones, plus a mirage stone from at least the 5-colored mirage tree." When this middle-aged cultivator spoke the first few words, the old man did not care about it, but when he heard the words mirage stone, he immediately stood up, even his voice trembled a little. "Is it really a mirage stone? Or something from the 5-colored mirage tree?" The middle-aged cultivator gave a sneer and spoke. "Steward Peng, Deputy City Master Mi has always been a man of his word. Why would he lie to you for a trivial mirage stone?" The old man gave a ferocious smile. "You can rest assured, even if this cultivator turns into a small grasshopper, I will still dig 3 feet into the ground to find him." The middle-aged cultivator nodded. "Once this person appears, you do not need to catch him. As long as you delay him, then report his whereabouts to me. For him to arrive here, it would take him at least a month. However, you cannot be careless because of this, or else he might come here ahead of time." The old man once again gave a smile. "From now on, I will monitor any cultivator heading to the Tian continent. Once they fall into the hands of this Peng Ripper, no one will be able to escape." "Ha, good. Deputy City Lord Mi was right about Steward Peng. I'll take my leave first." The middle-aged cultivator laughed. He brought out a mirror and placed it before the old man. Then, he clasped his fists and quickly disappeared. Ning Cheng walked out of the transfer array and arrived at a huge public square. He had finally arrived at the Heaven continent. It hadn't been easy, but when Ning Cheng saw a huge sign on the Grand Plaza, he was immediately dumbfounded. On the sign was written, "From the Yunwu city to the Mirage Gazing Island, it only takes 50,000 spirit stones." You did not read it wrong, it only takes 50,000 spirit stones. No wonder there were so many cultivators on the Mirage Gazing Island. 50,000 spirit stones was something that any ordinary cultivator would be able to afford. However, once they reached the Mirage Gazing Island, and then returned to the Yunwu city, they would have to pay 1,000,000 spirit stones. This was simply the same as eating people alive. In other words, even if they went, they would not be able to come back alive. No wonder Mu Xuanlin didn't have enough spirit stones to return to the Tian continent. "Big brother, where are you going?" "I plan to stay in the Yunwu city for a few days, and then go to the Luo Ling city to play. When I saw Big brother, I felt that we were brought together by fate. Why don't we go together?" A fragrant voice sounded out from the side of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng immediately knew that it was that sissy again. What did he mean by brought together by fate? It was only because he was the only one who had spoken to this fellow. Chapter 252. "Hey! This old man, please don't call me Big Brother, my skin is itching." Ning Cheng quickly raised his hand to stop this sissy's words. "Big Brother. Oh, old man, what do you mean by your skin is itching?" The young man's thirst for knowledge was also very strong. When he heard this word he did not understand it and quickly asked. Ning Qing grabbed his hair and helplessly said, "When I hear others call me big brother, my skin is allergic. Well, I do not intend to stay in the Yunwu city. I want to go to the Luoling city now. I have not been to the Luoling city. If you know how to get to the Luoling city?" Ning Cheng's words had not yet finished, when this young man patted his chest and said, "Old man, I just happen to have nothing to do. If you want to go to the Luoling city, I'll send you there. No matter where you want to go, I'll take care of it for you." Ning Cheng looked at this young man with his mouth wide open. Wasn't this person a bit too enthusiastic? How could there be such a hospitable person in the Tian continent? But Ning Cheng could not feel what this man was trying to do with him. This guy shouldn't be a back mountain enthusiast, right? He just wanted to know the route to the Luoling city. Why would he send him there? Thinking until here, Ning Cheng felt that he had to get rid of this guy even more. I was just thinking about how we were brought together by fate. It turns out that you are also planning to go to the Luoling city. My name is Fu Xiaomei, the Xiao that goes straight to the clouds, the Mei that goes as fast as a ghost. This describes my speed as very fast. Once I start running, no one would be able to catch up with me. The young man's tone was getting more and more happy. Speaking till here, he seemed to have remembered something as he spoke with some indignation in his voice. "There is a group of boring people who just want to call me Little Sister Fu. I have absolutely nothing to say to them. My name is obviously Fu Xiaomei." Ning Cheng looked at this Fu Xiaomei from top to bottom, and thought in his heart, with such a dress, coupled with such a good voice, and even smeared with so much perfume, it would be strange if people did not call you Little Sister Fu. That's right, I still haven't asked for this old man's name. The more Fu Xiaomei spoke, the more excited he became, as if he and Ning Cheng were old friends for many years. Ning Cheng was speechless. He had only spoken to this Fu Xiaomei out of politeness until now. As for him to accompany this Fu Xiaomei to the Luoling city, he had never even thought about it. I'm called Ning Xiaoqing." Ning Cheng had just spoken out his name, when Fu Xiaomei spoke out in a pleasantly surprised voice. This is great. You call me Xiaoqing and I call you Little Sister. This is simply too predestined." Ning Cheng once again rubbed his hair. In his heart he couldn't help but think in the end, what kind of person was this? Just a moment ago he was still opposed to others calling him Little Sister, but now he actually called himself Little Sister. He really did not know how he managed to cultivate to the profound core 6th level. He had said the word fate several times already. "Elder brother Xiaoqing, sit on my windmill. You see, my windmill from here to the Luoling city would take at most 2 to 3 days. Moreover, after arriving at the Luoling city, I will definitely take brother Xiaoqing to the best places to play. As long as you want to go, I can take you there." Fu Xiaomei's tone was incomparably enthusiastic, and even had a longing expression as he looked at Ning Cheng, as if he was afraid that Ning Cheng would not agree. "Alright, thank you, brother Fu. However, I will be in seclusion for a few days on the flying ship, so I might not be able to chat with brother Fu." Ning Cheng was not familiar with the Luoling city at all. Moreover, he did not even know the direction. Since Fu Xiaomei was this enthusiastic, then he might as well take a ride on his windmill. Fu Xiaomei, on hearing Ning Cheng agree, spoke up with even more excitement. "That's great, elder brother Xiaoqing can just call me Little Sister. If elder brother Xiaoqing wants to go into seclusion, then you can go into seclusion. I will be responsible for controlling the windmill. I guarantee that elder brother Xiaoqing will be able to safely arrive at the Luoling city." Fu Xiaomei's tone was as if it was not Ning Cheng who wanted to take a ride on his windmill, but rather he wanted to take a ride on Ning Cheng's windmill. "This Yunwu city is not something fun to play with. How can it be compared to the Luoling city, elder brother Xiaoqing? Let's go out of the city now. This broken city actually forbids flying. Even flying is not allowed. It really is too much. Elder brother Xiaoqing, you only need to walk a little bit before you can get out of the city. If you feel tired, I can immediately call a beast carriage for us." "No, it's also good to walk like this." Ning Cheng did not wait for Fu Xiaomei to raise his hand to call a beast carriage, as he immediately stopped the other party's words. This Fu Xiaomei's enthusiasm was really something that he could not stand. Fu Xiaomei immediately spoke up. "That's right, I also feel that the beast carriage is very bumpy. If there is nothing important, then I absolutely would not sit in a beast carriage. Elder brother Fu. Little sister, which academy are you from? Ning Cheng was now a bit curious. This Fu Xiaomei was dressed casually and was able to spend 1,000,000 spirit stones to directly teleport from the mirage-gazing city to the Yunwu city. It showed that he should be very rich. Fu Xiaomei showed a rare embarrassment and then immediately spoke up. I am from the Luo Ling city's Fu clan. My mother is very, very powerful. Are you going to the mirage-gazing island to look for mirage stones to sell? Ning Cheng asked again. This Fu Xiaomei spoke in an exaggerated tone. In addition to being a bit effeminate, the way he handled things was somewhat careless, which made Ning Cheng have a good impression of him. What was even more strange was that Ning Cheng could feel a trace of loneliness from Fu Xiaomei's warm and generous words. No, I am just going there to play and also to make some friends. The spirit stones that my mother gave me are not something that I can use up, elder brother Xiaocheng. Is it because you lack spirit stones that you want to go to the mirage-gazing island? If you are lacking spirit stones, then I still have a few million spirit stones with me. You can take them and use them. It doesn't matter. Fu Xiaomei spoke as he directly took off his ring. Ning Cheng quickly stopped Fu Xiaomei's actions, while in his heart he was amazed. Did this guy lack a brain? How could he just give out a few million spirit stones? Little sister, do you often lend out spirit stones to others like this? Ning Cheng asked. Fu Xiaomei burst into laughter, to the point where he almost burst into tears. He waved his hand and spoke. How is that possible? I am only lending them to my friends. If a random person wants to borrow spirit stones from me, then it is absolutely impossible. Then is today the first time that you have lent spirit stones to others? Ning Cheng asked. Of course not. The last time I met a friend in the 10-square city, I lent my ring to him. Moreover, there was also a time when I met a friend in the 1,000 treasure house. When he bought a magical weapon, he did not have enough spirit stones, so I spoke to him and lent him 1,000,000 spirit stones. Fu Xiaomei spoke without any care. Did these two friends return the spirit stones that they lent you? There is no need to return them. If my friends borrowed spirit stones, then I would have to return them. Then what kind of friends are they? Fu Xiaomei waved his hand and spoke in a neat and tidy manner. But after saying that, his eyes showed a trace of depression. I just wanted to lend a few spirit stones to my friend, but my younger sister caught up with that friend, injured him, and even snatched back the spirit stones that I had borrowed. Seeing them treat my friend like that, I felt a bit sad in my heart, and did not want to stay at home. Fu Xiaomei's depressed tone did not last for long, as he once again waved his hand and spoke. Elder brother Xiaocheng, you can rest assured, I am lending you spirit stones, and will absolutely not tell them about it. You can just take it and use it. Once you run out of spirit stones, my mother will definitely give it to me. My mother is an elder of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. She has a lot of spirit stones. Ning Cheng already understood a few things. He was sure that the person who had borrowed spirit stones from Fu Xiaomei was a swindler. Fu Xiaomei's younger sister knew that the other party was a swindler. As such, she took the initiative to catch up with him and snatch back the spirit stones. Fu Xiaomei had always been talking about his mother. It could be seen that in the depths of his heart, the only person he relied on was his mother. Although he had brought out so many spirit stones, but no one dared to lay their hands on him, it could be seen that his Fu clan was not simple at all. His parents should be ruthless people. Although this Fu Xiaomei did not have any friends, but he longed for a lonely and pitiful person to have friends. Fortunately, he had a powerful mother. After talking to this Fu Xiaomei for a while, Ning Cheng felt that this Fu Xiaomei also had some lovable points. At least he was a friend worth making. Elder brother Fu, I don't think that your younger sister did anything wrong on this point. If she really regarded you as a friend, then she would not casually ask you to borrow spirit stones. Even if she did borrow spirit stones, she would quickly return them to you. Moreover, she would also not even borrow your ring, so when making friends you should pay attention to this point. Ning Cheng did not continue to call Fu Xiaomei as his younger sister, but rather once again changed to elder brother Fu. Since he regarded Fu Xiaomei as a friend, then he wanted to see if he could help him get rid of this sissy habit. I knew that elder brother Xiaocheng was a friend worth making. Good, when I make friends in the future I will definitely pay attention to it. We are already out of the city. I will bring out the windmill. Elder brother Xiaocheng, you can go into seclusion. I will be responsible for bringing you to the Luoling city. Fu Xiaomei once again reverted to his cheerful mood, as if he was not disturbed at all. While Fu Xiaomei was speaking, he had already brought out a very beautiful windmill-type magical artifact. This windmill not only had an exquisite and beautiful appearance, but after Ning Cheng entered the windmill, the inside also looked like a boudoir. A fragrant artifact assailed his nostrils. Moreover, it was incomparably elegant. Ning Cheng thought in his heart that this Fu Xiaomei might have some feminine tendencies. However, looking at this windmill-type magical artifact that Fu Xiaomei brought out, he knew that this person's mother was definitely a rich person. This windmill-type magical artifact was a top-quality, best-quality flight-type spiritual artifact. Moreover, in addition to using spiritual consciousness and true essence to drive it, it could also be driven by high-grade spirit stones. A best-quality flight-type spiritual artifact in the Lu continent was already an astonishing price, not to mention a best-quality spiritual artifact that could be driven by spirit stones. Fu Xiaomei's words were very trustworthy. After he got on the windmill, he immediately sent Ning Cheng to a room to go into seclusion, while he himself drove the windmill to quickly soar into the sky, and no longer pestered Ning Cheng to speak. Ning Cheng was sitting inside the windmill's room, and was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. It was only now that he felt completely safe. Whether it was the Gui clan, or that soul essence cultivator, if they wanted to find him now, it would be almost impossible. Even if the people from the Gui clan could come to the Tian continent, they would not continue to have the cultivation of profound congealing realm. Thinking about the cultivation of profound congealing realm, Ning Cheng couldn't help but frown. Although his strength was constantly rising, even his true essence and spiritual consciousness were rising exponentially, but his cultivation was still stuck at the profound congealing 7th level, and was simply unable to progress any further. Ning Cheng shook his head, and put this matter aside. The first thing he wanted to do was to take out the jade strip containing the 10 uses of mirage stones. He wanted to know what kind of use the mirage stones had in the end. He had 39 mirage stones on him. If this thing really had a great use, then he could be said to have made a small fortune. Chapter 253. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept into the jade strip, and almost froze. He had never seen a single material with so many uses. This 10 uses of mirage stones was not just limited to 10 uses, it was simply a densely packed list of them. Moreover, this was just a general description, there was no detailed method to use it. Mirage stone, a heaven and earth strange object. It is found in various mirage islands, and is extremely difficult to obtain. The color of the tree is not gaudy, and is as solid as a treasure. Its shape is round, its color is white and clean, its nature is illusory but firm, like a dream. Mirage stones have many uses, one of them. After the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng finally put down the jade strip in his hands. He finally understood why mirage stones could make people go crazy. This thing's function was simply too big. Moreover, any cultivator would have a use for it. For cultivators with high cultivation, the first use of mirage stones was to open the Heaven's Way. In the Tian continent, the Heaven's Way was the place that people yearned for the most. Although Ning Cheng did not understand what the Heaven's Way was, but he knew that if one wanted to climb to a higher peak in cultivation, then the only way was to enter the Heaven's Way. Using a mirage stone to open the Heaven's Way was not to directly use a mirage stone to open it, but rather because as long as one sold a mirage stone to the Tian continent's Heaven Alliance, one would be able to obtain an array flag to enter the Heaven's Way. Even if one did not use this array flag, they could exchange it for spirit stones, which could be exchanged for a sky-high price. This was just one of the uses of mirage stones. In addition to this, mirage stones could also be used to cultivate one's spiritual consciousness, as well as to expand and solidify one's sea of consciousness. The jade strip only stated that mirage stones had this kind of use, but did not give any specific method to use it. The third use of mirage stones was to refine a clear mirage pill. This kind of pill could prevent a cultivator from entering cultivation deviation, even if a cultivator had already entered cultivation deviation. As long as they took this pill in time, they would be able to recover. The fourth use of mirage stones. If a mirage stone was given to a top-ranked academy, then not only would they be able to obtain a quota for the inner sect disciple of that top-ranked academy, but they would also be able to obtain countless cultivation resources and spirit stones. The fifth use of mirage stones was to open the heaven's way in the Tian continent. As such, they would need mirage stones to refine array flags. The sixth use of the mirage stone can be used to refine the mirage heart pill. This kind of pill was of great use to the cultivators who were crossing the tribulation. Using this pill would reduce the invasion of heart demons. The higher the grade of the mirage stone, the higher the grade of the mirage heart pill refined, and the more formidable the effect of restraining heart demons would be. The seventh type was used by the academies to arrange a top-notch defensive grand array. If there were array flags refined from mirage stones as the array heart, then the grand array would directly be upgraded to a whole new level. As for the eighth use, if a cultivator below the sea opening realm encountered a bottleneck in their cultivation, they could use the mirage stones from the mirage trees that were formed from the mirage trees and above to refine the mirage realm pill. The mirage realm pill could simulate one's cultivation realm, but it could only be used once. The ninth type. Ning Cheng was secretly amazed in his heart. This thing really had a lot of uses. Just because of these uses, any mirage stone could be sold for a sky-high price. It was no wonder that there were so many cultivators who did not care about their lives to snatch mirage stones. As long as they could get their hands on a mirage stone from a 9-colored mirage tree, then they would not need to worry about cultivation resources. They would not even need to worry about joining a good academy. Moreover, he currently had a total of 18 mirage stones from the 9-colored mirage tree. Just how much wealth was this? How was this a small fortune? Unfortunately, he currently did not know how to refine pills related to the mirage stones. Whether it was the clear mirage pill, mirage heart pill, or the mirage realm pill, he did not know how to refine any of them. Ning Cheng took out a mirage stone from a 3-colored mirage tree and swept it with his spiritual consciousness. It was obviously a milky white mirage stone, but he immediately felt as if he was in a dream. However, no matter how Ning Cheng analyzed it, he was not able to find the reason for this. After studying it for a full 2 days, Ning Cheng was not able to find anything of value, and had no choice but to put away the mirage stone once again. He intended to go to the Luoling city, and then look around to see if there were any jade strips that contained a detailed study of mirage stones. When Ning Cheng put away the mirage stone and came out of the room, he found that the windmill had already started to slowly descend. Elder brother Xiaocheng, did you finally come out of seclusion? It just so happens that we have already arrived outside the Luoling city. Fu Xiaomei, on seeing Ning Cheng come out, spoke out in a very proud manner. It was obvious that he was very happy that he was able to bring Ning Cheng to the Luoling city so quickly. Many thanks, elder brother Fu. Ning Cheng thanked him. Having a person to help him with the flight-type magical weapon was really different, allowing him to do whatever he wanted to do. The Luoling city was not much bigger than the Dragon and Phoenix city. At best it was almost the same. After Ning Cheng followed Fu Xiaomei through the gates of the Luoling city, he found that the streets were not as wide as the streets of the Dragon and Phoenix city. It seems that knowing someone by reputation was not as good as meeting them in person. The Tian continent was a place that the rest of the 9 continents yearned for. Even the cultivators of the Lu continent were very eager to come to the Tian continent. Now that Ning Cheng had arrived at the Tian continent, he could only look around and find that it was nothing more than this. The only difference was that the spiritual chi here was slightly richer compared to the Dragon and Phoenix city. Senior apprentice brother Fu, you're back? Young Master Fu. As soon as Fu Xiaomei entered the city, he was immediately greeted by a lot of greetings. Even Ning Cheng could hear that these greetings were very perfunctory, and even had a trace of disdain in them. However, Fu Xiaomei still smiled and waved to the many cultivators on the street. That's right, I'm back. This is my friend Ning Xiaocheng. Yes, this is my friend Ning Xiaocheng. Fu Xiaomei walked all the way to greet them, and every time he would bring out the words, this is my friend Ning Xiaocheng. Ning Cheng could hear it, although Fu Xiaomei said that he was his friend, but the eyes that were cast towards him were not good, and were basically filled with disdain and schadenfreude. Ning Cheng did not care about it. He did not ask Fu Xiaomei to borrow spirit stones. Moreover, Fu Xiaomei's younger sister would also not chase after him. Besides, even if she chased after him, He was not afraid of it. Fu Xiaomei only had the cultivation of profound core 6th level, and his younger sister estimated that she would at most be at the intermediate stages of the profound core realm. These people are all snobs. Don't look at them politely greeting me, but the fact is that they all despise me in their hearts. If not for the fact that they are afraid of my family's influence, perhaps these people would have already rushed up to snatch my spirit stones. Although Fu Xiaomei was smiling and greeting these people, but after he finished his greetings, he whispered to Ning Qing to explain. Ning Qing looked at Fu Xiaomei in surprise. This younger sister of his was not stupid. His heart was as clear as a mirror. Elder brother Fu, I'm going to the Precious River Rest Stop to stay. As Ning Qing spoke, he had already seen the Precious River Rest Stop. The Precious River Rest Stop was incomparably gorgeous, and was erected on one side of the main street in the city. It was just like a 5-star hotel in Jiangzhou, and was very eye-catching. Elder brother Xiaoqing, come to my Fu Ling Villa to live. It is definitely more comfortable than living in the Precious River Rest Stop. Fu Xiaomei waved his hand and spoke in a very straightforward manner. Ning Qing hesitated a little before speaking. So be it, I will first go to the Fu Ling Villa to sit down. When there's nothing else, I'll go to Precious River Rest Stop. Ning Qing wanted to take a look at the strength of a clan in the Tian continent, as well as inquire about the situation of the academies in this place. Elder brother Ning, you will definitely like the Fu Ling Villa. Fu Xiaomei felt that Ning Qing was truly a good friend. Before coming to the Fu Ling Villa, Ning Qing would never have thought that the Fu Ling Villa would be this majestic. This villa was similar to the Dragon and Phoenix City's Dragon and Phoenix 9-Star Academy. The incomparably imposing entrance, coupled with a defensive array close to the 8th rank, was even more imposing than the outside of Luoling City. After entering the villa, Ning Qing discovered that it was simply a small town. There were all kinds of restrictions, and all kinds of buildings were planned in an orderly manner. Big clans really were different. He did not know how many stars this Fu clan was, but it unexpectedly had such a large scale and imposing aura. I live in the east side. Elder brother Xiaoqing can come with me, Fu Xiaomei said as he quickened his pace. Ning Qing followed Fu Xiaomei through a few artificial lakes, before they arrived in front of a more beautiful building. Ning Qing compared it to the other buildings, and found that this building was much more beautiful than the rest of the place. Moreover, the appearance was also a lot more exquisite. Ning Qing guessed that this should be because Fu Xiaomei's mother's status was relatively high. Young Master Fu is back. Young Master Fu. There were all kinds of respectful greetings coming from outside. Ning Qing could hear that these voices were much better than the greetings from Fu Xiaomei outside. Little sister Fu, you went out to fool around. Who asked you to bring back a bunch of scoundrel friends? Immediately take your scoundrel friends and roll out of here. A flame-like voice rolled over like a flood, causing Fu Xiaomei's complexion to immediately change. Ning Qing had already seen the person who had spoken. It was a young girl dressed in a tight red cultivator's robe. This young girl was also carrying a long sword-type magical weapon on her back. She had almond-shaped eyes and an oval-shaped face, but her face was filled with a murderous aura as she stared at Fu Xiaomei in anger. Beside the girl in red, there was another girl in a light blue dress. The girl in the blue dress had an oval face, and her appearance was more demure than the girl in red. There was a faint smile on her face. After Ning Qing saw the two girls, his complexion slightly changed. He had always thought that his cultivation progress was not slow. But now, compared to the two women in front of him, Ning Qing realized just how slow his cultivation progress was. These two young girls were both at the Soul Essence realm. The female cultivator in the light blue dress was already at the Soul Essence 2nd level. Since this red-robed young girl was Fu Xiaomei's little sister, then why did her cultivation far surpass Fu Xiaomei's? Fu Xiaomei, on hearing this red-robed girl's scolding, his face immediately turned red, and only after a moment did he speak up in a loud voice. Fu Xingnen, you are too much. Elder brother Xiaoqing is my friend. What's wrong with me bringing my friend back for a visit? Why don't you bring your friends over? Why can you do it, but I can't? Originally, Fu Xiaomei's little sister was called Fu Xingnan. This name was actually quite appropriate. Looking at her dressing and her strong tone, it seems that she should be the elder brother. But Ning Cheng in his heart was very unhappy. This Fu Xingnan simply did not listen to Fu Xiaomei's words, and directly told him to roll out of here. This woman was somewhat self-righteous. Your friend? Bah, how can a bear like you make a decent friend? Why would I bring a friend back? How can your friend be compared to Han Ru? A puny, profound, congealing cultivator, and even dares to enter the Fu Ling villa. Fu Xingnan's tone was getting more and more severe, and even contained a trace of murderous intent. Ning Cheng was secretly angry in his heart. At this time he was already beginning to doubt his own judgment. Before this woman chasing after Fu Xiaomei's friend, it was really possible that she was deliberately looking for trouble. Chapter 254. Fu Xiaomei's face turned red, even his hands were trembling. Ning Cheng on seeing this gave out a dark sigh in his heart. He had known Fu Xiaomei for a long time, but had never seen him so angry. No wonder he did not want to return to the Fu Ling villa. With such a sister, no one would want to come back. What? Do you want to fight with me again? With your cultivation? Fu Xingnan glanced at Fu Xiaomei with disdain. Forget it, Xing. Your brother does not come back often. The blue-robed woman persuaded from the side. Fu Xingnan coldly glanced at Ning Cheng, and then spoke to Fu Xiaomei. For the sake of Han Rui's face, I'll let you go this time. Saying that, she stared at Ning Cheng and spoke, I'm warning you, profound congealing ant, if you want to have any ideas about the Fu Ling Villa's spirit stones, then you better wash your neck clean, you shameless thing. Go take a piss and look at yourself. If you were the Fu Ling Villa's villa master, then even 10 palanquins would not be able to carry your grandpa Ning. Ning Cheng on the left side of this woman's words, and on the right side of this shameless ant, made him angry. For him to come here, it really was to give face to Fu Xiaomei. Who did this woman think she was? You're courting death. Fu Xingnan's entire body was overflowing with murderous intent, as the long sword on her back automatically flew up. Xingnan, what's going on? Why did your brother just come back and you want to start? A slightly dissatisfied woman's voice arrived. After Fu Xiaomei heard this voice, he immediately spoke up with joy. Mother, I brought a friend back, but Xingnan actually wants me to fuck off. This is really going too far. Ning Cheng immediately saw a middle-aged beautiful woman appear in front of him. He did not even see how this middle-aged beautiful woman had arrived. After this middle-aged beautiful woman heard Fu Xiaomei's words, she gave a smile and nodded to Ning Cheng. Welcome to our Fu Ling villa as a guest. Ning Cheng was shocked in his heart. He was sure that among all the people he had met, there was no cultivator with a higher cultivation than this middle-aged beautiful woman. He quickly cupped his fists and bowed. Ning Shaoqing greets auntie. No wonder Fu Xiaomei did not dare to provoke anyone when he went out. This fellow's mother's cultivation was just too high. Seeing this middle-aged beautiful woman welcoming Ning Cheng, Fu Xingnan gave a cold snort, and did not even speak a single word, as she pulled the blue-robed woman beside her and quickly left. When the middle-aged woman saw this scene, she just frowned and didn't say much. Mother, this is my friend Ning Shaoqing. His cultivation is somewhat low. I want to take him to the spiritual essence pond to cultivate for a period of time. Fu Xiaomei, seeing that Fu Xingnan had already left, his complexion immediately returned to normal and quickly spoke up in a sweet voice. The middle-aged beautiful woman sighed and said, Xiaomei, the clan's spiritual essence pond is not a place that anyone can casually enter for cultivation. Even you have to apply for it. I can't make this decision. Fu Xiaomei spoke in a somewhat disapproving manner. Xingnan was able to cultivate to the soul essence realm. Was it not because of her family's spiritual essence pond and the academy's small spiritual domain? Otherwise, she would at most be a late-stage profound core cultivator. Ning Cheng finally understood why Fu Xingnan and Han Rui's cultivation were so high. It turned out that they had a special place for cultivation. Unfortunately, he was a rogue cultivator, and could only look for some spirit stones and pills for cultivation. Thinking back to the time when he was in the Dawn Forest, he had also found a spiritual essence pond, but the quality of that spiritual essence pond was not high, moreover the quantity was also very small. If he could also have such a holy land for cultivation, and wholeheartedly went inside to cultivate, then presumably his cultivation would also continue to progress. The family's spiritual essence pond is very limited and is far from being comparable to the Academy's small spiritual domain. But now the management of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect is extremely strict. Even I cannot help your friend enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect and become a core disciple. If you are not a core disciple, then even if you enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, without any special contribution, you would not be able to enter the small spiritual domain to cultivate. The middle-aged beautiful woman was extremely doting on Fu Xiaomei, but she really could not help him. Ning Cheng could see a trace of worry in the eyes of this middle-aged beautiful woman. He took the initiative to cup his fists and spoke. Many thanks, Auntie, for your kindness. I would like to ask if you want to enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's small spiritual domain to cultivate other than the core disciples. What kind of contribution do the other disciples need in order to enter? Ning Cheng in his heart was already somewhat eager to enter the Holy Land for cultivation of a major academy. His cultivation was not able to keep up in the Lu continent, and now that he had arrived at the Tian continent, he was even more behind. Recently there have been some things happening in the academy. Me and Xiaomei's father were also involved in it. So be it, I will first arrange for you to enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's inner sect. In the future I will help you to see if you can enter the small spiritual domain to cultivate. The middle-aged beautiful woman did not even ask about Ning Cheng's origins and other things. Just because Ning Cheng was a friend of her son, she did not care about helping him. Ning Cheng finally understood where Fu Xiaomei's character came from. It turned out that he had inherited it from his mother. Many thanks, Auntie. I would like to try it myself and see if I can pass the Academy's test to enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. If I cannot, then I would have to ask Auntie for help. If I have not even tried it myself, then I would have to ask Auntie for help. It would simply be too outrageous. Ning Cheng quickly thanked her. He could see that Fu Xiaomei's mother was somewhat worried. Listening to her words, Ning Cheng guessed that this worry might have something to do with the academy. If he now asked the other party for help, then perhaps it would be even more disadvantageous to Fu Xiaomei's mother. Sure enough, after Ning Cheng's words came out, the middle-aged beautiful woman's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Although she did not care about what friends her son made, but in her heart she hoped that the friends her son made were not some despicable people who would take advantage of their son. Good, you can go and try it. If it doesn't work, then I will definitely help you enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. 3 months later, the Rainbow Fall Sword sect will be selecting disciples. Let Xiaomei take you there. You are still young, but you are already able to cultivate to the profound congealing 7th level. It is already not bad. I believe that you will have a chance. The middle-aged beautiful woman spoke in a very happy manner. Fu Xiaomei quickly spoke. Mother, you can rest assured, elder brother Xiaocheng can definitely do it. The middle-aged beautiful woman nodded to Ning Cheng, and then spoke to Fu Xiaomei with a tender voice. I knew that you were coming back, so I specifically came to see you. Now that I am going back to the academy, do you have enough spirit stones? I still have a lot of spirit stones. Mother does not have to worry about it. Fu Xiaomei raised the ring in his hand. After the middle-aged beautiful woman left, Ning Cheng only sat for a while, before he excused himself to leave. For Fu Xiaomei to have such a sister, he really did not want to continue staying here. Ning Cheng arrived at the Precious River rest stop, and found a medium-grade room to stay in. He decided to stay here and wait for the black-robed woman to come over. He felt that the black-robed woman did not have any malicious intent towards him. He also wanted to know why this black-robed woman was looking for him. At the same time, Ning Cheng also wanted to join the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. The Rainbow Fall Sword sect's cultivation's small spiritual domain was very attractive to him. Since Fu Xingnan could cultivate to the soul essence 1st level in the small spiritual domain, then he could also do the same. Ning Cheng had never thought about cultivating to the soul essence 1st level. As long as he could fill up his core lake in the small spiritual domain, he would be perfectly satisfied. As the years passed by, Ning Cheng was even more eager to return to Earth. He was not sure if the flow of time here was the same as the flow of time on Earth. If it was not the same, then by the time he cultivated for 100 years, Rulin would have already passed away. If Rulin was no longer here, then what was the point of him going back? For 99% of the cultivators in the Yixing mainland, the purpose of cultivation was to obtain more power, a longer lifespan, and more profound mysteries. But for Ning Cheng, constantly running around, constantly looking for resources for cultivation, there was only one purpose, and that was to hope that one day he would be able to return to Earth. Originally he knew that the possibility of this happening was slim to none, but after seeing the skeleton at the bottom of the Blood River, he instead had a goal and was even more confident about returning to Earth. As long as he could find the things that the skeleton needed, then perhaps he could really return to Earth. The precious river rest stop was indeed worthy of being the largest rest stop in the Luoling city. Ning Cheng had only found a medium-grade room, but this room was not only rich in spiritual qi, even the restrictions and shielding array formations were extraordinary. Inside the room, there were also 2 cultivation rooms. Ning Cheng observed the room and decided to arrange a shielding array formation himself. Even if he did not intend to take out his secret things in this rest stop, if he could be a bit more careful, then it would be better to be a bit more careful. Just as Ning Cheng was planning to continue arranging the array formation in the room, the restriction at the door was touched. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness immediately swept towards Fu Xingnan and the other blue-robed female cultivator. These 2 women were standing in front of the door of his room. "What's the matter?" Ning Cheng opened the restriction and spoke with an expressionless voice. "I specifically came here to warn you, you better immediately get the hell out of the Luoling city for me, otherwise this grand aunt will definitely kill you as a sacrifice to her sword." Fu Xingnan stared at Ning Cheng with a murderous look on her face, as she spoke out one word at a time. "Fuck off." Ning Cheng spat out a single word, and without hesitation, once again activated the restriction at the door. This place was not the Fu Ling villa, this woman was simply too opinionated. Chapter 255. This bastard? Fu Xingnan's face turned livid as she stared at Ning Cheng's room. She had never thought that a puny, profound, congealing aunt would dare to be so arrogant. This was not the first time that she had met a guy who wanted to swindle spirit stones from Fu Xiaomei's hands. Moreover, this kind of person would always end up miserably at the hands of her. But today, she met someone who didn't buy it. Fortunately, she was still rational enough to come here and trigger the restrictions to find Ning Cheng. However, if she dared to destroy the restrictions in Ning Cheng's room, then it would not be a simple matter. Pu Bao rest stop's backer wasn't small, and it wasn't something that her Fu Ling villa could manage. "Xingnan, let's go. This person's bones look very hard. He shouldn't be the kind of person who wants to rely on senior brother Xiao Mei's spirit chaos stone," the woman named Han Rui advised. "I will find someone to keep an eye on him. Let's see if he really wants to stay in his room for the rest of his life." Fu Xingnan said with hatred, as she followed the blue-robed woman out of Ning Cheng's room. After activating the restriction, Ning Cheng was ready for Fu Xingnan to break through the door. If Fu Xingnan broke through the door, then he would definitely go all out. Even if he was only at profound congealing 7th level, but his spiritual consciousness and true essence was not something that an average cultivator could compare to. At most, he would leave Luoling City after the battle. What Ning Cheng did not expect was that even after he waited for the time it took for an incense stick to burn inside the room, not only did Fu Xingnan not break through the door, but his spiritual consciousness even swept out and found that Fu Xingnan had already turned around and left. Presumably, this woman was also afraid of the power of the precious river rest stop. Since he had already left, Ning Cheng did not care about it. While he was refining pills, he was also tempering his spiritual consciousness. After Ning Cheng came to know the benefits of having a powerful spiritual consciousness, as long as he had free time, he would start to temper his spiritual consciousness. He didn't have a cultivation method that specifically refined his divine sense, but he had a set of methods that he had researched himself. More than 2 months passed in a flash. In another 2 days it would be 3 months. What made Ning Cheng puzzled was that not only did Fu Xingnan not cause any trouble for him, even Fu Xiaomei did not come over. It was reasonable to say that Fu Xiaomei should have come looking for him to participate in the disciple selection of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, but he did not know why he had not come yet. Ning Cheng was not worried about Fu Xiaomei, as Fu Xiaomei was a person from the Fu Ling villa. Moreover, his mother was such a powerful existence, so she should be fine in Luoling City. Seeing that the day of the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's disciple selection was just around the corner, Ning Cheng decided to completely remove his disguise. If Fu Xiaomei did not come, then he would definitely go to the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. Going to the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect to participate in the disciple selection, he did not dare to change his appearance. He had an appointment with the black-robed female cultivator to meet at the Precious River rest stop. Since the other party had not arrived yet, he did not want to continue waiting. Ning Cheng had just walked out of the room when a waiter from the Precious River rest stop hurriedly greeted him. "Excuse me, are you Ning Xiaoqing?" "That's right." Ning Cheng nodded. "Here is a letter for you, sent by the Fu Ling Villa's young Master Fu." The shop assistant quickly took out a letter and handed it to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng received the letter and knew that Fu Xiaomei definitely had something to say. "Elder brother Xiaocheng, because of a few things that happened, my father came back and asked me to go into seclusion in the clan's spiritual essence pond, and to not allow me to come out before I reached the soul essence realm. So I cannot accompany you to participate in the disciple selection of the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. You can rest assured, I have already spoken to my mother. Even if you fail in the disciple selection, my mother will definitely help you enter the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect as an inner sect disciple. Moreover, when you participate in the disciple selection, you must not change your appearance, otherwise, the consequences would be very serious." Followed by a lot of greetings, as well as some details about participating in the disciple selection. Ning Cheng put away the letter and felt very grateful in his heart. He did not think that Fu Xiaomei would already know about the matter of him changing his appearance. Presumably it was Fu Xiaomei's mother who told him about it. With Fu Xiaomei's mother's ability, it would not be difficult for her to see through his disguise at a glance. Although Fu Xiaomei knew that he had changed his appearance, but he still treated him with sincerity and did not even ask why he had changed his appearance. It could be seen that this person was a good friend. No wonder that Fu Xingnan did not come to bother him. Originally she knew that Fu Xiaomei would go into seclusion. With Fu Xiaomei's cultivation at the profound core 6th level, wanting to advance to the soul essence realm, even if he cultivated in the spiritual essence pond, he estimated that it would not be an easy thing to do. Ning Cheng could only secretly envy him. The welfare of the disciples of these big families and big academies was really good. He was just a rogue cultivator. If he wanted to continue advancing, then if he did not rely on a big academy, then it would definitely be extremely difficult. Even if he had some opportunities and even had the mysterious yellow bead, but without someone to guide him, it would still be extremely difficult. "I did not think that you would really be here. It seems that I did not read the wrong person." A crisp voice interrupted Ning Cheng's contemplation. Ning Cheng looked up and saw a black-robed female cultivator. At this time the black-robed female cultivator had already changed her robes and was wearing a light yellow skirt. Although this woman was not beautiful, but her skin was very white, and coupled with the light yellow skirt, it was also a bit pleasing to the eye. Even if Ning Cheng did not know the origin of this woman, but he knew that she was not simple. With only the cultivation of profound congealing 9th level, she was able to go out to the sea to search for the Mirage Ship Island, and then return to the Tian continent safe and sound. It would be strange if such a woman was simple. Of course, this junior apprentice sister helped me once, so I naturally have to personally thank her. Ning Cheng gave a chuckle as he cupped his fists and spoke. The female cultivator showed a faint smile, although Ning Cheng's cultivation was higher than hers, but she did not care much about him calling her junior apprentice sister. "Let's go in and talk about it." "Good, I have not checked out of my room. Let's go to my room," Ning Cheng said. The female cultivator followed Ning Cheng into the room, and seeing Ning Cheng activate the restrictions around the room, she gave a faint smile and spoke. "My name is Liang Kersin, and I come from the great Liang True Country. I do not know your name?" Ning Cheng had previously said that he was called Ning Xiaocheng to Fu Xiaomei, but because they were not familiar with each other, he also did not intend to associate with Fu Xiaomei. Now that he wanted to go to the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect to register for the selection, he also did not intend to continue using the name Ning Xiaocheng. So he only hesitated for a moment before he spoke. "I am called Ning Cheng, a rogue cultivator." "I can see that you are a rogue cultivator. You said that I helped you once, but I guess you should not know how I helped you." Although I said it with a bit of a grudge, and you might look down on me, but it is very important to me. Although Liang Kursen spoke in a smiling tone, but the way she spoke was very straightforward. Ning Cheng also cupped his fists and spoke in a stern manner. I would like to hear the details. Liang Kursen gave an sound and spoke. Chang Siki is my friend. It was me who arranged for her to enter your room. If I had not let her enter your room, then at this time you would have already been drinking spiritual tea in the Soul Essence Cultivator's room on the mirage-gazing conglomerate. As for whether you would be able to open your mouth to drink, that is another matter altogether. What? Ning Cheng suddenly stood up, as he stared at Liang Kursen in amazement. Liang Kursen's words were really too amazing. Moreover, what she said was not wrong. If not for Chang Siki's matter, then he would never have left the mirage-gazing conglomerate. But he did not doubt Liang Kursen's words, because at that time the one who had chased him out was that intermediate-stage soul essence cultivator. Liang Kursen raised her hand and took out 2 cups. This time Ning Cheng did not wait for her to take out the spiritual tea, as he took the initiative to take out a jade pot and poured a cup of tea for Liang Kursen. This is something that I brought from a friend of mine. It is quite good. Liang Kursen gave a non-committal smile, but did not drink the spiritual tea that Ning Cheng brought out. Rather she spoke. Since you can come here, then you are definitely not a simple person. I believe that my eyes are not playing tricks on me, and would not misjudge a person. The transmission array of the mirage-gazing island has already been heavily monitored by that old man Peng, yet you were still able to come here safe and sound. Ning Cheng did not care about Liang Kursen's compliments, as he helped Liang Kursen pour a cup of spiritual tea, and once again cupped his fists and thanked her. If Chang Siki is a person arranged by Senior Apprentice Sister Liang, then I really would like to thank Senior Apprentice Sister for saving my life. Seeing Ning Cheng change the form of address from Junior Apprentice Sister to Senior Apprentice Sister, Liang Kursen covered her mouth and gently smiled. Elder brother Ning can just call me Junior Apprentice Sister. Women always hope that their age can be younger. Good, then I asked Junior Apprentice Sister Liang to advise me. Ning Cheng did not care about such a form of address. Liang Kursen also did not continue to keep him guessing, and directly spoke. The man who broke open the restriction on your room was called Lang Mao. Siki and him were only temporary. The purpose was of course to have a helper on the mirage-gazing conglomerate. As for Siki's origin and reason, I will not speak about it. Siki going to your room to seduce you, this idea was not Lang Mao's, but rather Siki and I came up with it. At the same time, he instigated Lang Mao to join forces with the ship's deacons to chase you out of the ship. Ning Cheng sighed and spoke. Fortunately, I was not seduced, otherwise, would you not have saved me? Liang Kursen chuckled again. How could that be? If you were really seduced, then you can only say that your luck is pretty good. Siki won't resist. She was going to make it real, but she didn't expect you to miss such a good opportunity. Ning Cheng gave a wry smile and waved his hand. I want to know why you want to help me. At the same time, I also want to know, why did the soul essence cultivator on the mirage-gazing conglomerate want to kill me? Ning Cheng did not believe that Chang Siki would really put on a fake act. As such, he did not need to take it seriously. Liang Kursen understood Ning Cheng's doubts, and immediately spoke. Then let's talk about why that soul essence cultivator wanted to kill you. I think that you must have obtained a mirage stone. Moreover, you must have obtained more than one. Not only that, but the grade of the mirage stone you obtained is also very high. Ning Cheng did not get excited. He knew that since others suspected him, then there must be a reason for them to suspect him. He calmly looked at Liang Kursen and asked, is this your judgment, or is it the judgment of that soul essence cultivator? It is my judgment. Moreover, I know that that soul essence cultivator is also suspicious of you. If he wanted to search for you, then at most it would only take 3 to 5 days. It was only when that soul essence cultivator went into seclusion for a short period of time that I let you leave the ship. Liang Kursen spoke in a calm manner. How do you know that I obtained a mirage stone? Moreover, it is of a very high grade. Ning Cheng stared into Liang Kursen's eyes. Liang Kursen did not seem to care about Ning Cheng's reaction. She did not even have a bit of precaution as she picked up the cup of spiritual tea that Ning Cheng had poured a moment ago and took a sip before speaking. Because I know that you have the twin heavenly cloud wings. But Liang Kursen's words had not yet finished, as she stood up in shock. Then, as if she had seen a ghost, she grabbed the cup of spiritual tea as she stared at the cup and spoke after a good while. "This is a spiritual tea refined from the true spiritual nectar. You are actually such a wastrel." Chapter 256. Ning Cheng was also shocked. How did this woman know that he had the twin heavenly cloud wings? That's right, it should be the moment when he rushed out of the Mirage Ship Island, which was seen by this female cultivator. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng frowned. The twin heavenly cloud wings was not a simple thing. Once it was exposed, it would not be a good thing for him. Seeing Ning Cheng frown, Liang Kursen immediately knew what Ning Cheng was worried about. She slowly sat down and spoke. "Elder brother Ning does not have to worry that I will speak about the matter of you having the twin heavenly cloud wings. If I wanted to speak about it, then I would not have come here today. But elder brother Ning actually used the spiritual enhancement true nectar to refine a spiritual tea. It really makes me unable to believe it." Ning Cheng waved his hand, as if he did not hear the meaning behind Liang Kursen's words. "This is a gift from a familiar friend. Junior apprentice Sister Liang had once saved my life. I naturally cannot be stingy." Seeing that Ning Cheng did not have the intention to give her this spiritual tea, Liang Kursen was slightly disappointed in her heart, but she quickly adjusted herself and continued. "Shin Yongyi being injured in a sneak attack was also arranged by me, but he did not know about it. Since you saved Shin Yongyi, it made me think that you are a trustworthy person, so I decided to make a gamble." Ning Cheng understood the meaning behind Liang Kursen's words, not to mention the Yixing mainland where the strong preyed on the weak, even in the Jiangzhou where the laws were sound. If this kind of thing occurred, then there would not be many people who could help. No wonder after that youth was injured he fell to my side. His injuries were not light. Ning Cheng had some doubts in his heart. The opposite party did not know him, so why would she attack a person she knew, just to save him? Liang Kursen showed a faint smile. Siki attacking Shin Yongyi was actually for his own good, otherwise Shin Yongyi might not have even lost his life. Did you think that after obtaining a Mirage Stone on the Mirage Gazing Conglomerate, you would be able to safely return to the Mirage Gazing Conglomerate? Seeing Ning Cheng turn silent, Liang Kursen once again spoke. "You have the twin heavenly cloud wings because I saw it. The moment you left the Mirage Gazing Conglomerate, I saw it. You do not have to worry about it because my eyes are different from others. I am sure that I was the only one who saw it." Ning Cheng had already guessed this, but instead calmed down. He asked, "Did you obtain a lot of Mirage Stones on the Mirage ship?" Liang Kursen did not deny it. "Yes, I indeed obtained 9 Mirage Stones, but unfortunately, I only obtained 3 Mirage Stones and 6 Mirage Stones. As for the 9 colored Mirage Stones that I need, I was not able to obtain even a single one." Ning Cheng couldn't help but think in his heart, this woman really was not simple. Relying on her special eyes, she was able to obtain 9 of them. One had to know that he relied on the twin heavenly cloud wings and his powerful and condensed spiritual consciousness, which allowed him to obtain a bit more than others. "I know that you have at least obtained 9 colored Mirage Stones. I do not need much. As long as you can give me a 9-colored Mirage Stone, I can give you 4 6-colored Mirage Stones. At the same time you can open up any other conditions." Liang Kursen spoke in a very straightforward manner, as she stared at Ning Cheng, waiting for Ning Cheng's reply. "How did you know that I obtained the 9-colored Mirage Tree's Mirage Stone?" Ning Cheng did not immediately answer Liang Kursen's words, but instead asked a question. "Because I saw that intermediate stage soul essence cultivator standing next to a huge pit and muttering to himself. Someone unexpectedly dug out the 9-colored Mirage Tree. Who would have such a powerful magical weapon?" Liang Kursen replied in a sinking voice. "Later when I came out, I saw that you have the twin heavenly cloud wings. I guessed that the person who dug out the 9-colored Mirage Tree was definitely you without a doubt. Because the 9-colored Mirage Tree is located in the depths of the Mirage Ship Island, an ordinary profound core cultivator would simply not be able to reach there in such a short time. Moreover, you have the twin heavenly cloud wings." Ning Cheng came to understand. It seems that what Liang Kursen had said was not wrong. For a cultivator who could dig out the 9-colored Mirage Tree, that intermediate stage soul essence cultivator would definitely not let it go. To be exact, Liang Kursen's judgment was correct. If he had continued to stay on the ship, then perhaps in a few days he would have suffered a calamity. Many thanks, Junior Apprentice Sister Liang. I now understand that Junior Apprentice Sister Liang really did save my life. Ning Cheng thanked her before he suddenly asked again, I have the twin heavenly cloud wings, which allowed me to reach the depths of the Mirage Ship Island so quickly, but how could Junior Apprentice Sister Liang see that place so quickly? According to my observation, Junior Apprentice Sister Liang's cultivation does not seem to be higher than mine. Liang Kursin, on hearing Ning Cheng's words, gave a chuckle and spoke. The reason why I came here today to trade with Elder Brother Ning is because I know that Elder Brother Ning is a trustworthy person. Elder Brother Ning has his own secrets, but I also have my own secrets. Please forgive me, but I do not want to speak out my own secrets. If Elder Brother Ning is willing to exchange for the 9-colored Mirage Stone, then I will agree to any of your conditions. If Elder Brother Ning does not agree to exchange for the 9-colored Mirage Stone, then I will treat it as if I had never come here. At the same time, I will also not divulge Elder Brother Ning's secrets. Ning Cheng nodded. He knew that since Liang Kursin had spoken in such a manner, then even if he wanted the other party to accompany him to sleep, the other party would not hesitate to agree. From this, it could be seen that the Mirage Stone of the 9-colored Mirage Tree was very important to Liang Kursin. Junior Apprentice Sister Liang, as far as I know, all Mirage Stones are white in color, but the degree of whiteness varies. Why do you want to speak about the 9-colored Mirage Stone? Ning Cheng did not agree, nor did he disagree, but rather asked about an irrelevant matter. Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, you don't even know about this, right? Liang Kursin looked at Ning Cheng with some surprise. After a while, she suddenly took out a jade basin. While simultaneously pouring a little water into the jade basin, she then took out a white-colored Mirage Stone and placed it into the jade basin. Ning Cheng was amazed to find that the white-colored Mirage Stone in the jade basin immediately shot out 6 different colors. It was like a dream. It was simply magnificent. Liang Kursin once again took out the Mirage Stone. The Mirage Stone was still white in color, and the water was still the same as before. Ning Cheng did not wait for Liang Kursin to speak, as he also took out a Mirage Stone and placed it into the jade basin. The Mirage Stone was pure to the point that it did not have a trace of impurities. It immediately shot out 9 different colors. It was even more beautiful than before. So it was like this. Ning Cheng muttered to himself. You really do have a 9-colored Mirage Stone. Liang Kursin was pleasantly surprised as she stared at the Mirage Stone in the jade basin. The fire in her eyes could be seen at a glance. Ning Cheng smiled. Of course I have a 9-colored Mirage Stone. This one is for you. For me? Even if Liang Kursin knew that Ning Cheng had 9 9-colored Mirage Stones, but for Ning Cheng to casually give it to her like this, it was still too shocking for her. The value of a 9-colored Mirage Stone was incomparably huge. Even if it was 106 colored Mirage Stones, it would still be far from being comparable to a 9-colored Mirage Stone. She wanted to use this opportunity to repay Ning Cheng's kindness in exchange for a 9-colored Mirage Stone. Of course it's for you. Do you think my life is so worthless? You saved my life, yet I still want the things of my savior. You really look down on me too much. Ning Cheng finished as he took out a jade bottle and spoke. This is a spiritual enhancement true nectar. I will also give it to you. Sure enough, there really is a spiritual enhancement true nectar. Liang Kursin suppressed her excitement as she quickly put away the Mirage Stone and the spiritual enhancement true nectar that Ning Cheng gave her, as she gave a respectful bow to Ning Cheng and spoke. Many thanks, Big Brother Ning. She was completely unable to contain the excitement in her heart. Not only did she obtain a Mirage Stone, but she also obtained a spiritual enhancement true nectar. It could be seen that she had not done anything wrong, although she had taken a huge risk, but she had obtained a much greater reward. With the Mirage Stone and the spiritual enhancement true nectar, if she were to join the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, then in just 3 years, she would once again climb up to the Soul Essence realm. With the spiritual seeding cultivation method that she cultivated, once she advanced to the Soul Essence realm, her cultivation would definitely be able to insta-kill those of the same level. If she could enter the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's small spiritual domain to cultivate, then perhaps in less than 10 years, she would be able to sculpt her soul. Big brother again, Ning Cheng sighed. Fortunately Fu Xiaomei was not here. Otherwise he would have definitely asked if his skin was allergic. It was only after a good while that Liang Kersen calmed down her excitement, as she tried to calm down her tone and spoke. Does Big Brother Ning have any plans? Ning Cheng did not conceal it. I heard that the Rainbow Fall Sword sect is recruiting disciples. I was just about to go to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect to try my luck. If I can run into some luck, then I want to become an inner sect disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, and even stay in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect to cultivate. That's great. I am also planning to go to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. However, I think that Big Brother Ning, it would be best if you did not take out your Mirage Stone to join. With your ability, presumably you would be able to get a spot as an inner sect disciple in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Liang Kersen, on hearing that Ning Cheng also wanted to go to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, immediately spoke up. Ning Cheng looked at Liang Kersen in doubt. How could it be so coincidental? He wanted to go to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, and this woman also wanted to go? However, he still asked, I have a few 3-colored Mirage Stones. I also intend to use these 3-colored Mirage Stones to open up a path. I heard that the Rainbow Fall Sword sect has a small spiritual domain. I really want to go in and cultivate for a period of time. Liang Kersen spoke in a stern tone. Although you have already left the Mirage Gazing Island, but there will definitely be people keeping an eye on you. Do you know who owns the Mirage Gazing conglomerate? It is the force of the Mirage Gazing Island's Deputy Island Master Me. After you joined the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, they certainly would not dare to make a move against you, which is a good thing. If you take out the Mirage Stones, then there would be even more eyes staring at you. Many thanks, Junior Apprentice Sister Liang. I know what to do. Ning Cheng did not care about it. What he needed now was to enhance his strength. As long as he had enough strength, then who would be able to catch up with him? Liang Kersen had only mentioned it once, but seeing that Ning Cheng did not care about it, she no longer spoke about it, and just asked, Is Big Brother Ning willing to go with me to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect to participate in the disciple selection? Of course I am willing. It's just that I do not know anything about the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Can Junior Apprentice Sister Liang explain a thing or two to me? Ning Cheng was looking for someone to go with him to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Now that Liang Kersen had delivered herself to his door, how could he refuse? Liang Kersen was in a very happy mood. Of course, the Rainbow Fall Sword sect is one of the Tian continent's quasi-first-class academies. Its strength is incomparably formidable. They even have several peak crucible transformation cultivators. Ning Cheng suddenly interrupted Liang Kersen's words and asked, Junior Apprentice Sister Liang, I heard that there is a realm above the crucible transformation realm. Is this true or false? Liang Kersen showed a faint smile and spoke, You are a rogue cultivator. It is normal for you not to know about it. Of course it is true. In the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, there is an existence that surpasses the crucible transformation cultivators. However, really? What kind of realm is that? Ning Cheng was incomparably shocked in his heart. Crucible transformation realm was simply an unreachable existence for him, while the Rainbow Fall Sword sect had a cultivator that surpassed the crucible transformation realm, but it was only a quasi-first-class academy. It is not a realm. It is because the I Ching mainland's laws are broken. Even if a crucible transformation cultivator cultivates to a realm that surpasses the crucible transformation realm, there would not be any tribulation thunder falling. Without tribulation thunder, there would not be any laws governing the realm. Without the laws governing the realm, there would not be any realm. Therefore, some of the cultivators with powerful cultivations would want to leave the I Ching mainland through the Heaven's Way, in order to find an opportunity to advance. Liang Kersen spoke in a light voice. Chapter 257. Luo Ling City was not close to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, of course. This distance was only relative to ordinary cultivators. For people with high cultivation, they could reach it in just a short while. With Ning Cheng and Liang Kersen using a medium-grade flight-type spiritual artifact, it would probably take them about half a day. After leaving Luo Ling City, Liang Kersen did not take out a flight-type magical weapon. Rather, she sat on Ning Cheng's medium-grade airship. Big Brother Ning, I am very curious as to how you managed to escape from the Mirage Gazing Island. That old man Peng is not simple. I heard that the people that he targeted, none of them could escape, even soul essence cultivators would be found by him. On the airship-type magical weapon, Liang Kursen asked in a very puzzled manner. Although she knew that this was Ning Cheng's secret and that she should not ask about it, but curiosity drove her. She knew that Ning Cheng wanted to return to the Tian continent from the mirage-gazing island and would definitely need to use the transmission array. Even if Ning Cheng had the twin heavenly cloud wings, it would still be impossible for him to fly to the Tian continent. Not to mention the distance from the mirage-gazing island to the Tian continent, even if he had the twin heavenly cloud wings, it would still take at least a few years. Moreover, the monstrous beasts in the middle would be able to tear Ning Cheng to shreds. Even if all these were not considered, who could use the twin heavenly cloud wings non-stop for a year? The twin heavenly cloud wings, to put it bluntly, were external objects, and also required true essence and spiritual consciousness to use. Ning Cheng smiled and was just about to speak, when suddenly a fiery red shadow flashed past his spiritual consciousness. Moreover, this shadow also had a strong spiritual chi fluctuation. Just by sweeping it with his spiritual consciousness, he could feel a trace of loosening of his spiritual consciousness. Pure Yang Fire Ginseng. It has a ginseng spirit? Liang Kursen exclaimed, and then anxiously spoke. Ning Cheng quickly chased after it. This is a pure Yang Fire Ginseng with spiritual wisdom. Its value is even higher than a mirage stone. It is simply incalculable. Liang Kursen was so excited that she even forgot about Big Brother Ning. Ning Cheng quickly drove the airship to chase after it. He also saw that it was a pure Yang Fire Ginseng. But to say that it gave birth to a ginseng spirit, it was absolutely impossible. Big Brother Ning. Kursen saw that Ning Cheng was just using the airship to chase after the pure Yang Fire Ginseng, and spoke with even more anxiously. Ning Cheng did not panic and showed a slight smile. Junior apprentice Sister Liang, I see that you is not a simple person. How can Yang Ginseng? This was the road leading from the Luo Ling city to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. How many people pass through it every day? Do you think a sentient pure Yang flame would appear here? Are you saying that this is fake? Liang Kursen muttered. That's right, how could the pure Yang Fire Ginseng appear here? Moreover, the pure Yang Fire Ginseng is a spiritual object of the heavens and earth. As such it would generally appear in the mountains, rivers and lakes, so how could it be seen by others? That's right, Big Brother Ning, since it is fake, then why did you chase after it? Liang Kursen did not think that it was fake for the first time, because her spiritual consciousness was far inferior to Ning Cheng's, coupled with the fact that she did not have such miscellaneous knowledge like Ning Cheng. Now that Ning Cheng reminded her, she immediately understood. Ning Cheng gave a smile. If the pure Yang Fire Ginseng is fake, then it means that someone used the pure Yang Fire Ginseng to lure us to a secluded place to kill us. Why don't I fulfill his wish? Of course, if Junior Apprentice Sister Liang feels unsafe, then you can wait for me at the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. I will go alone. How could I be afraid of death? But the one intercepting us here is most likely to be that soul essence cultivator. I am afraid. Liang Kursen had already guessed that the cultivator who was trying to lure them away was most likely a soul essence cultivator. Ning Cheng nodded. That's right, there is an 80 to 90% chance that it is that guy. Initially when we were at sea, I was afraid of him and did not dare to make a move, but now that we are here, I do not have any reason not to make a move. Besides, don't I still have Junior Apprentice Sister Liang to help me? Ning Cheng's words were not a compliment. He felt that Liang Kursen was definitely not simple. She was definitely not an ordinary profound congealing cultivator. Big Brother Ning, if it really is that cultivator, and I cannot beat him, then I might have to temporarily escape, but I would not be able to take you away. Liang Kursen hesitated for a moment, before speaking the truth. You also know that I have the twin heavenly cloud wings. As long as you can escape, then how could I not be able to escape? I only ask of you one thing, when the time comes, do your best to entangle that guy, even if it is only for a few breaths. Ning Cheng spoke without any care. What if it is a soul sculpting cultivator? Liang Kursen asked in a worried voice. Ning Cheng gave an affirmative reply. It is definitely not a soul sculpting cultivator, you can rest assured about it. If it was a cultivator in the soul sculpting realm, then why would they use such a method to lead them to a secluded place? He could kill the two of them with just a wave of his hand. The other party should have known that he and Leon Curson were not people to be trifled with, and would not be able to kill them in a short time. As such, he thought of a way to lead the two of them to a secluded place. After all, the place that the two of them passed through was the main road leading to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. This kind of person was at most a soul essence cultivator. There was even a possibility that he was a profound core cultivator. This person is luring us over, or that pure yang fire ginseng is also fake. If it was that soul essence cultivator, how confident are you? Liang Curson already knew that Ning Cheng's guess was correct, because her spiritual consciousness could occasionally capture the escape trajectory of the fire ginseng, which was obviously not normal. Ning Cheng smiled and spoke. Since they decided to make their move, then it means that they have a certain amount of assurance. Although the pure yang fire ginseng did not develop intelligence, it was not fake. The reason why the fire ginseng could escape was because there was a talisman inside the fire ginseng. Using a talisman to show off in front of a talisman grandmaster like me, this kid is simply courting death. Moreover, this bastard schemed against me. I am already not happy about it. If I do not kill him, then it would be unfair to him. Are you a talisman grandmaster? Liang Curson even forgot about the matter of chasing after the pure yang fire ginseng, as she looked at Ning Cheng in doubt and asked, "Let's talk about this later, I have to speed up." Ning Cheng finished speaking. As the airship's speed rapidly increased, the shadow of the fire ginseng once again appeared in the range of the two people's spiritual consciousness. After another hour, the fire ginseng escaped into a large and extremely remote mountain range, before disappearing from sight. "Let's start." Ning Cheng gave a signal to Liang Curson, as he landed the airship-type magical weapon. "You have guts, knowing that I lured you over, yet still dare to come here." An indifferent voice arrived, followed by a male cultivator appearing in front of Ning Cheng and Liang Curson. It was the intermediate stage soul essence cultivator who had previously spoken on the mirage-gazing conglomerate. After this intermediate stage soul essence cultivator finished speaking, he waved his hand, and a fiery red shadow appeared in the palm of his hand, before it immediately disappeared. This fiery red shadow was the pure yang fire ginseng that Ning Cheng and Liang Curson had been chasing after. Liang Curson gathered her true essence, and a plain-looking lamp appeared in the palm of her hand. "Hey, Heaven's Mandate Neon Glow Lamp? I really did not guess wrong. Your origin is not simple at all." The intermediate stage soul essence cultivator stared at the lamp in Liang Curson's hand and exclaimed in surprise. Liang Curson frowned, and suddenly spoke to Ning Cheng. "Big brother Ning, this time it seems that I have implicated you. This person must have followed me here, and then found you." Ning Cheng was not surprised as he nodded and spoke. "I guessed it, let's do it." Ning Cheng simply did not speak a second sentence, as he immediately brought out his true cosmic devil axe, while simultaneously bringing out an inexhaustible vortex of axe shadows. These vortexes were filled with a thick angry axe-killing intent, as they instantly wrapped around this intermediate stage soul essence cultivator. Devil cultivator? Once Ning Cheng made his move, Liang Curson and the middle-aged soul essence cultivator were immediately aware of it. However, Liang Curson did not care about it, as the Heaven's Mandate neon cloud lantern in her hand also transformed into an endless multicolored light that rolled up. "You really are not an ordinary profound congealing cultivator, just this kind of thing. In front of me it is not enough." The middle-aged soul essence cultivator sneered, as he simultaneously brought out a black claw shadow. When this claw shadow was brought out, it was only a palm-sized shadow, but when this claw shadow and Ning Cheng's axe-killing vortex collided, it immediately transformed into innumerable ghost-faced claw shadows. "This is the explosive flame ghost claw. Ning Cheng, you better be careful." Liang Curson's voice had just fallen, when the explosive flame ghost claw's innumerable ghost-faced faces suddenly exploded. These innumerable ghost-faced faces brought with them a terrifying yin-chi that completely swallowed up Ning Cheng's angry axe-killing shadow without a trace. Even Liang Curson's endless multicolored light was completely wiped out by this claw shadow. Liang Kursen was directly sent flying dozens of meters away as she spat out a mouthful of blood in the air. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness and true essence was far stronger than Liang Kursen's. As such, after his axe shadow was swallowed up, he was only pushed back a few steps before he finally stabilized himself. Bringing out the true cosmic devil axe once again, he simultaneously waved his hand, causing a 10 feet tall level 6 puppet to madly rush towards the intermediate stage Soul Essence Cultivator. When the intermediate stage Soul Essence Cultivator's explosive flame ghost claw landed on the puppet, it was only able to create a few holes on the puppet's body, but it was completely unable to stop the puppet. So it turns out that you are relying on your powerful spiritual consciousness and a Soul Essence puppet. The intermediate stage Soul Essence Cultivator sneered, as the imposing aura emanating from his body skyrocketed. Liang Kursen was shocked at how Ning Cheng could have a level 6 puppet. When Ning Cheng's sound transmission arrived, Junior Apprentice Sister Liang, use your most powerful move to tie down this intermediate stage Soul Essence Cultivator for a short period of time. Just as Ning Cheng finished speaking, the true cosmic devil axe in his hands once again brought out an innumerable angry axe vortex. These axe shadows were also mixed with a crisscrossing axe trace. Insignificant skill. Although Ning Cheng had blasted out such a powerful axe trace filled with killing intent, but in the eyes of this intermediate stage Soul Essence Cultivator, it was nothing more than an itch. Liang Kursen, on seeing Ning Cheng's crazy actions, also knew that Ning Cheng definitely had a killing move. Whether they succeeded or failed would depend on this one move. Otherwise, she could only escape. The Heaven's Mandate neon cloud lantern also started to move. As the dense lights flickered, it was as if there was a kind of destiny calling out to it, as it swept towards the Soul Essence Cultivator. This Soul Essence Cultivator was tied down by the level 6 puppet cultivator. As long as he was given a few breaths of time, he would be able to completely smash this level 6 puppet to pieces, but Ning Cheng's angry axe killing intent made it so that he had no choice but to divert some of his attention to block it. Although these angry axe killing intent vortexes were not a threat to him, but they were extremely annoying. But at this time, Liang Kursen's Heaven's Mandate neon cloud lantern completely erupted. The Heaven's Mandate neon cloud lantern's powerful destiny calling out to it caused the Soul Essence Cultivator to be stunned for a moment. In just a moment, a large black net came over to envelop him. Once this large net came over, the Soul Essence Cultivator immediately felt as if his soul was locked in place. You want to trap me with just a few magical weapons? Break for me? The Soul Essence Cultivator gave an angry roar, as the exploding flame ghost claw once again burst out with innumerable ghost-faced claw shadows. These claw shadows crazily swept out, causing Ning Cheng's angry axe's killing light to completely disappear. But that large black net unexpectedly came to a standstill in the space. Liang Kursen's inexhaustible lights also instantly dimmed. She was once again blown away. This time she spat out a few mouthfuls of blood out of thin air. In just one attack, she was seriously injured. Fortunately, her light once again blocked the ghost-faced claw shadows of the exploding flame ghost claw. Otherwise she would have died without a doubt. She was sure that she would not be able to block the third attack. I can't? Liang Kursen had just spoken out a few miserable words when she heard Ning Cheng shout out, "Explode for me." Chapter 258. A kind of extremely berserk aura instantly filled up the surrounding heaven and earth. Liang Kursen, who was thrown back a few hundred meters, also felt a kind of shock. She immediately understood what was going on. Ning Cheng wanted to blow up his Soul Essence puppet. The value of a rank 6 Soul Essence puppet was very precious even for a Soul Essence cultivator, yet Ning Cheng had suddenly exploded it. This was simply too much. Not good. The other party unexpectedly wants to blow up his Soul Essence puppet. This intermediate stage Soul Essence cultivator was the first to understand Ning Cheng's thoughts, and was immediately shocked. For a profound congealing cultivator to be able to drive a Soul Essence puppet was already very amazing, but the opposite party was actually able to make a Soul Essence puppet to explode. Just how powerful was his spiritual consciousness? However, no matter what was going on, This intermediate stage soul essence cultivator did not dare to directly face the self-destruction of a soul essence puppet. Once he was caught in this kind of self-destruction, then even if he did not die, he would still have to shed a layer of skin. A protective armor automatically covered the body of this intermediate stage soul essence cultivator. At the same time, the space around him started to fluctuate, as if he wanted to escape from the range of the explosion at this moment. And at this moment, the huge black net above his head descended. This was Ning Cheng's underworld lock soul net, which he had snatched from Gui Yuhai. It was a best quality spiritual artifact. Ning Cheng dared to come here and compete with this intermediate stage soul essence cultivator, not only because he had a soul essence puppet, but also because he had calculated that his underworld lock soul net would be able to trap the other party for a few breaths of time. These few breaths of time were more than enough. At least until now, his calculations had not gone awry. The soul essence cultivator was anxious to escape from the range of the explosion, causing him to neglect the underworld lock soul net. The moment he was caught by the underworld lock soul net, this soul essence cultivator felt his heart turn cold. He had unexpectedly forgotten about the underworld lock soul net suspended above his head. If it were not for that female cultivator using the Heaven's Mandate neon glow lantern to bombard him a moment ago, then even if the opposite party's axe intent maelstrom doubled in size, he would never have made such a low-level mistake. Boom! A terrifying explosion set off a huge mushroom cloud. Countless sand and soil were turned into nothingness by this explosion. Liang Kersen, who was hundreds of meters away, could only barely summon her destiny neon glow lamp to block the aftermath of the explosion. Even so, she was still blasted away by the aftermath of the explosion. In the face of this terrifying power, she couldn't even be considered as a duckweed. After Ning Cheng burnt his true essence and spiritual consciousness to detonate the rank 6 soul essence puppet, he immediately stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings to rush forward, while simultaneously bringing out his profound break spear. He had already seen that this intermediate stage soul essence cultivator had not died under such a terrible explosion. Soul essence cultivators were just too terrifying. Fortunately, at this time he was seriously injured and was also trapped by the underworld lock soul net. Even if he wanted to escape, he would need a few breaths of time. Little bastard, I will grind your bones to ashes. After the explosion, the intermediate stage soul essence cultivator was the first to shout out in anger. However, at this time, he did not look like a human at all. Half of his face had been blown off, while his entire body was covered in red and black. It was simply impossible to make out his original appearance. Buzz, a violent killing intent that made the heavens and earth colorless, swept over. The violent killing intent seemed to tear the space apart. It came from the distant sky, but it appeared in front of him in an instant. Bursts of chills emerged in his heart. This intermediate stage soul essence cultivator unexpectedly forgot to break free from the underworld lock soul net. He even felt a kind of terror that could explode a planet, giving him an illusion that he could not resist. This was the murderous aura of heaven and earth. He could not move. No, this was not it. This was just a spear shadow that the opposite party had used to kill him. The intermediate stage soul essence cultivator was able to get rid of the suppression in the depths of his heart in the shortest possible time. Unfortunately, by the time he reacted, he was still trapped in the underworld lock soul net. By the time he came to his senses, the black spear shadow had already torn through all the distance and arrived in front of his glabella. Such a terrifying spear intent. The intermediate stage soul essence cultivator muttered. He had never seen this kind of spear intent before. This was definitely not a large accomplishment spear intent. This kind of spear intent was already close to being transparent, and was even able to stir up his mind. Puff! A blood arrow shot out, as Ning Cheng's profound break spear directly pierced through the glabella of this intermediate stage soul essence cultivator. Not waiting for his soul essence to dissipate, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness twisted. A shrill scream erupted, as everything around him returned to tranquility. At that moment, the surrounding space seemed to have turned gray, without even half a shred of vitality. All of the vitality had been completely destroyed by Ning Cheng's spear shadow. However, soon, the surroundings once again returned to their original state, as if the world was still the same. Ning Cheng staggered a bit, as the long spear in his hands trembled. "Puh!" A sound emerged, as the intermediate stage soul essence cultivator's body was just like a piece of garbage, as he threw it to the ground. He could already see that a crack had appeared on his profound break spear, showing that although he had a powerful move, but he did not have a powerful spear to support it. Ning Cheng took a few deep breaths as he held onto the spear shadow, as he instantly put away his underworld lock soul net, while simultaneously putting away the soul essence cultivator's ring and his magical weapon, as he threw out a fireball, before turning around to look at Liang Kersen. "Junior apprentice Sister Liang, are you all right?" Liang Kersen's mouth was wide open as she looked at Ning Cheng sluggishly. That terrifying spear shadow a moment ago had almost taken away her mind. She had never thought that someone would be able to display such a terrifying spear shadow. Moreover, the one who displayed this spear shadow was a profound congealing cultivator. Even if she was very far away from this spear shadow, and even if this spear shadow was not aimed at her, but this spear shadow was filled with a terrifying killing intent, as such it still tore a few holes in the clothes covering her chest. "I'm fine." After a good while, Liang Kersen replied in a trembling voice. She had thought that after she started cultivating the spiritual planting cultivation method, she was already invincible in the same realm as her. Moreover, she had also thought that although Ning Cheng was quite good, but at best he was about the same as her. Once she succeeded in cultivating the spiritual planting cultivation method, then Ning Cheng would be far inferior to her. But at this time, she finally understood there was always a heaven beyond the heavens, and there would always be someone better than her. Not to say that they were almost the same, compared to Ning Cheng, the difference was like heaven and earth. Even if she managed to cultivate the spiritual planting cultivation method to the large success realm, in front of Ning Cheng, it was impossible for her to be invincible in the same realm. In the future, she absolutely could not afford to offend this person. Looking at his actions of snatching the ring and destroying the corpses, he did not know how many times he had done such a thing, so how could he be so skilled in such actions? "It's all right, let's hurry up, I guess that there will be people coming over here soon." Ning Cheng immediately spoke, while simultaneously bringing out an airship-type magical weapon. Half an hour later, Ning Cheng and Liang Kersen were already far away from the place where the battle took place. "Big Brother Ning, I did not think that you would actually be able to kill a soul essence cultivator. It really is." Even after half an hour, Liang Kersen still could not believe it. Ning Cheng gave a faint smile and spoke, "I was able to kill that guy. I also had your help. Moreover, I also blew up a soul essence puppet. Otherwise, I certainly would not have been able to kill him. Besides, if we did not chase after him and not kill him, then what would be the point of chasing after him?" Liang Kersen sighed, "I knew that you had a trump card, but I still planned to escape. I did not think that your trump card would be so terrifying. That last spear almost took away my mind. That spear was really too terrifying." Ning Cheng's mind once again replayed the scene that he had seen in the everlasting Blue Thunder City. That spear was really too terrifying. Unfortunately, that spear was not his spear. His spear, when compared to that spear, was not even a billionth of it. The person who had used that spear, just how terrifying was he? If this memory belonged to an ordinary person, then perhaps they would have already lost their fighting spirit to cultivate. But Ning Cheng had the mysterious yellow bead, and was even more determined to go back to see his little sister. He not only did not lose his fighting spirit, but he also repeatedly honed the trajectory of that spear and the killing intent within his mind. Ning Cheng did not answer Liang Kersen, rather he took out a red-colored thing and handed it to Liang Kersen and said, "This pure yang fire ginseng is real, although it did not really give birth to a ginseng spirit, but it is still a rank 9 spiritual grass. You also helped me in this battle, so this pure yang fire ginseng is yours. This is too precious. I did not put in much effort. I cannot take it." Although Liang Kersen really wanted this fire ginseng, if she had this fire ginseng, then she would once again be able to cultivate to the soul essence realm and would have a greater assurance, but she also knew that her strength was limited. Ning Cheng put the fire ginseng into Liang Kersen's hands and spoke, Since we acted together, and you were also injured, then this fire ginseng is well deserved. Good, then many thanks, I really do need this fire ginseng. Seeing that Ning Cheng was not hypocritical, Liang Kursen also no longer remained polite. Ning Cheng, of course, was not hypocritical. This time he had killed that intermediate stage soul essence cultivator. He had made a huge profit. After erasing the restrictions on the soul essence cultivator's ring, he found that there were more than 10 million high-grade spirit stones inside. In addition to that, there were also a variety of Yi Xing Ocean's monstrous beast materials, spiritual grass materials piled up like a mountain. There were even 3 8-colored mirage stones. As for the few offensive and defensive magical weapons, Ning Cheng did not even look at them. He did not know if this soul essence cultivator had handed over all the mirage stones he had obtained, or if there were only 3 of them. But for Ning Cheng, this was more than enough. Big Brother Ning, now that we have offended the Mirage Gazing Island's Deputy City Master Me, if we cannot join the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, then we must immediately leave this place. Liang Kursen knew that Ning Cheng had gained quite a lot this time, and was also worried that the Mirage Gazing Island would come knocking on their door. That is also true, but if you want to deal with me, then you must first ask the axe in my hands. After Ning Cheng finished this sentence, he immediately thought that his most powerful move was not the axe line, but rather his spear line that left no traces behind. This spear line was something that even he himself felt amazed by. It was truly a spear that came from beyond the heavens. Big Brother Ning should not be a devil cultivator, right? Liang Kursen asked as she recalled Ning Cheng's true cosmic devil axe, which contained a terrifying and tyrannical devil chi. Ning Cheng gave an N sound and spoke, I am not a devil cultivator. My axe was only refined from a piece of cosmic true devil metal, but because it was not refined to perfection, as such it was overflowing with devil chi. Liang Kursen hesitated for a moment, before she suddenly spoke. I think that Big Brother Ning's most powerful move was that last spear line, but although that spear line was powerful, but that spear line was not that great. That spear line let me see a trace of the Tao charm of a spiritual technique. That spear line was because my spear intent had reached a certain level, as such it was able to erupt with my spear technique. Ning Cheng spoke in a disapproving manner. He had never heard of anything called a spiritual technique. Liang Kursen shook her head and spoke, no matter how powerful a spear technique is, it is only in the category of magical techniques. Even if it is a heaven-grade magical technique, its power is also limited. The true killing moves of a powerful cultivator are not magical techniques, but rather spiritual techniques. Spiritual techniques? Ning Cheng finally understood. It seems that there were still many things that he did not understand. Chapter 259. The Rainbow Fall Sword sect was one of the major academies of the Tian continent, although it was not a first-rate major academy, but it was still quite famous. In particular, the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's small spiritual domain was very famous throughout the entire Tian continent. Some of the great clans would even send their talented disciples to the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. It was because the reputation of the small spiritual domain was simply too great. The Rainbow Fall Sword sect had innumerable mountain peaks, with the main peak located in the depths of the sect. Moreover, there were also the immortal caves of the Grand Elders, the core disciples, the true inheriting disciples, and the various peak masters. Inner sect disciples also had their own cave abodes. However, the cave abodes of inner sect disciples were located in the outer region. Many inner sect disciples shared a common mountain peak. As for the outer sect disciples, they could only stay at the outermost perimeter. However, the most bustling place in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect was the outermost area. This place was not only frequented by the cultivators from the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, but even some of the surrounding families and small academies were willing to come here to trade. After a long time, this place had become a huge market, or even a city. The liveliness of the marketplace was not inferior to that of Luo Ling City. However, the largest place in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect was actually the Rainbow Fall Sword Stone. That's right, it was a piece of stone. However, this stone was even bigger than those large squares. All the duels and competitions of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, the gathering of the entire sect's cultivators, and the series of disciple recruitment activities were all held on this piece of stone. Therefore, although this stone was called the Rainbow Fall Sword Stone, it was also the public square of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Is there such a big stone? Ning Cheng, who had already arrived at the periphery of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, on hearing Liang Kursen's explanation, couldn't help but ask in doubt. That's right, so this time the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's disciple selection will definitely be carried out on the Rainbow Fall Sword Stone. Liang Kursen replied. She and Ning Cheng had talked all the way here, and had thoroughly believed that Ning Cheng was a person who came from a grassroots background. There were a lot of basic things that he didn't understand. He only knew about them after listening to her explanation. So, the Rainbow Fall Sword Stone should be the symbol of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Ning Cheng said. In his opinion, since the Rainbow Fall Sword sect had such a huge Rainbow Fall Sword Stone, then the symbol of the sect would definitely be this stone. Liang Kursen directly denied it. No, the real symbol of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect is not this stone, but the Rainbow Fall Sword Peak. On the summit of the Rainbow Fall Sword Peak, there was a long sword inserted into the ground. This sword was called the Yonder Immortal Rainbow Fall Sword, and he heard that this sword was the true treasure of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. This sword suppresses the destiny of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect, as such no one can move it. At the periphery of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's incomparably huge makeshift market, the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's External Affairs Disciple Deacons building was filled with a sea of people. Ning Cheng and Liang Kursen came here, but even after squeezing for a long time, they still could not squeeze in. Junior apprentice Sister Liang, if it goes on like this, then 3 days later when the disciple selection begins, we would not even be able to register our names. We must think of a way. Ning Cheng pulled out Liang Kursen. Liang Kursen also said helplessly, if we squeeze here for 3 days, we should be able to register. Ning Cheng shook his head. Others can, but we can't. Don't forget what we've done. We can't stay here for too long. Wait, I see someone I know. Ning Cheng spoke as he quickened his pace to catch up with a young girl wearing a light blue robe. Senior apprentice Sister Hanrui, what a coincidence to unexpectedly meet you here. The woman in the blue dress was stunned for a moment, but she immediately reacted. Not waiting for her to answer Ning Cheng's words, a young man standing beside her took the initiative to ask, Junior apprentice Sister Hanrui, who is this? Why haven't I seen it before? The woman in the blue dress gave a smile and spoke. He is a friend of Fu Xiaomei. We met in the Fu Ling villa. Saying that, she turned to Ning Cheng and asked, why are you here? Aren't you together with senior apprentice brother Xiaomei? Right, I still don't know your name. So it's that sissy. The young man's mouth showed a trace of disdain as he spoke in a light voice. Junior apprentice Sister Hanrui was really too easy to talk to. She did not even know the other party's name. It was obvious that they had only met once before. Ning Cheng glanced at this young man, with the cultivation of soul essence 5th level. No wonder he was so arrogant. At the same time, he could also see that these big academies were really something. Casually coming out of them were all soul essence cultivators. How could rogue cultivators and small academies mix around? Oh, I'm called Ning Cheng. I came here to participate in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's disciple selection. This is my friend Liang Kursen. She is also here to participate in the Rainbow Fall Sword sect's disciple selection. Maybe we will soon become fellow disciples. Ning Cheng replied he simply did not pay any attention to the young man next to him, not to mention taking the initiative to greet him. Hello, I'm called Sun Hanrui, a disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. Welcome. Sun Hanrui politely greeted Liang Kursen. Although she did not know much about Ning Cheng, but she was very clear about what kind of person Ning Cheng was. Don't look at the other party having the cultivation of profound congealing realm. Even if it was Fu Xing'an, she would still dare to close the door and shout, fuck off. Hearing that Ning Cheng and Liang Kursen were here to participate in the Academy's disciple selection, the young man suddenly gave a smile and spoke. You made friends with that sissy little sister. Didn't you also want the other party to help you? How come you still want to participate in the disciple selection now? Ning Qing raised an eyebrow. He did not even know this young man, so why was he still chattering here? Sun Hanrui was also aware of Ning Cheng's temperament. As such, she quickly stopped the young man's words and spoke in front of him. Is there anything elder brother Ning needs my help with? She knew that for Ning Cheng to stop her, it was definitely not for something as simple as a greeting. There was definitely something that he needed her help with. As such, he stopped her. This Sun Hanrui was really too considerate. Knowing that he was looking for her for something, Ning Cheng quickly cupped his fists and spoke in a blunt manner. Me and junior apprentice Sister Liang came a bit late. As such, it is difficult for us to register. So, I know, of course there is no problem. Sun Hanrui finished, and then spoke to the male cultivator next to her. Senior apprentice Brother Wen, I have something to take care of. You can go ahead first. I'll be back in a moment. The young man frowned, and then spoke to her. Junior apprentice Sister Hanrui, these two profound congealing cultivators are just here to register. Just let them take my identity card. Why do you need to personally make a trip? Saying that, the young man took out a very exquisite jade card and spoke. Take my jade card to register. After the registration, let the deacon deliver it to my immortal cave. Seeing that Sun Hanrui did not seem to be perfunctory with Ning Cheng, the young man did not continue to speak any harsh words, but instead took out his own jade card. Ning Cheng did not even look at the jade card. If Sun Hanrui was not willing to help him, then so be it. Sun Hanrui obviously knew about Ning Cheng's temperament, and quickly spoke up. Sheng Nan is my friend, and elder brother Ning is a friend of Sheng Nan's elder brother Xiaomei. I should be able to help you with this. I'll just go by myself. Many thanks, senior apprentice Brother Wen. Saying that, Sun Hanrui gave a sweet smile to the young man, and took the initiative to lead Ning Cheng and Liang Kersin into the overcrowded Foreign Affairs Disciple Deacon's building. Senior apprentice Brother Wen's complexion was somewhat ugly to look at, but fortunately he did not know that Ning Cheng and Fu Shengnan had almost fought. If he knew about it, then he would not know what kind of expression he would have. Sure enough, it was easy to get things done. Sun Hanrui's face was obviously not low. As such, she simply did not need to line up, and directly entered a room on the top floor. As soon as she entered, an idle deacon inside took the initiative to stand up and greet her with a bow. In just a few minutes, Ning Cheng and Liang Kersin received a number card to participate in the competition, and received a copy of the rules of the disciple selection. This time the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's disciple selection was divided into two major categories. The first category was the spiritual root qualification selection, which did not look at one's cultivation. As long as one was under the age of 30 and had a better spiritual root, then one would have a higher chance of becoming an inner sect disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect, or even becoming a core disciple or a true inheriting disciple. The second category was for those with poor spiritual root qualifications, but possessed formidable strength. This kind of disciple must participate in the competition. However, they must also have the cultivation of profound core realm or below, and be under the age of 50. This kind of cultivator, after joining the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect, would receive a slightly worse treatment compared to the first category of cultivators, as they were mainly used to train some cannon fodder for the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect, as well as some of the people in charge of the industry. At the same time, even if they were eliminated from the first category, they could still participate in the second category. Ning Cheng and Liang Kersin both applied for the second category. Ning Cheng was well aware that his spiritual root was not good, moreover his spiritual root could change at any time. As for the second category of inner sect disciple, there was no need to test one's spiritual root, which was the best for Ning Cheng. Many thanks for Senior Apprentice Sister Sun's help, although my ability is low, but if Senior Apprentice Sister Sun needs my help in the future, I will definitely not refuse. Following Sun Hanrui out of the registration building, Ning Cheng spoke out in a very grateful manner. Sun Hanrui obviously did not take Ning Cheng's words to heart. She just gave a faint smile and spoke. Thank you, elder brother Ning. I still have something to do, so I will take my leave first. I live in the auspicious Cloud Peak. If elder brother Ning has any matter, you can always come to find me. Ning Cheng would not go out to look for Sun Hanrui. In case he met Fu Shengnan, then perhaps it might even lead to a fight. This senior apprentice Sister Sun is a good person. She definitely is a core disciple of the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect. I really did not think that you would know a core disciple. After Sun Hanrui left, Liang Kursen spoke with a sigh. Since she had seen Ning Cheng's ability, she did not think that Ning Cheng was not worthy of becoming friends with Sun Hanrui. With Ning Cheng's ability, becoming friends with Sun Hanrui was not a rare thing. Ning Cheng declined to comment. He had asked Sun Hanrui for help because he really had no other choice. Otherwise he and Sun Hanrui had only met once, plus his relationship with Fu Xingnan was still very stiff. It was simply impossible for him to take the initiative to ask for help from others. Let's go find a place to rest for 2 days. For these 2 days we will try not to show our faces. Liang Kursen also knew that at this time, it was not appropriate for them to stay outside. Wait! Ning Cheng suddenly stared at a huge poster not far away, as his complexion changed indeterminately. What's the matter? Liang Kursen quickly asked. Ning Cheng pointed to the huge poster and spoke. Tonight the Rainbow Fall Sword Sect's makeshift market is going to hold an auction. There are things that I want inside. While speaking those words, Ning Cheng's heart unexpectedly started to palpitate as he looked at the poster with the jade strip that contained the possible locations for the geocentric 9-ene essence to appear. Although it was not a direct sale of the geocentric 9-ene essence, but the words geocentric 9-ene essence made him somewhat unable to bear it. This was one of the 2 spiritual grasses related to whether he could return to Earth or not. Chapter 260. The scale of tonight's auction is not small, so there should be some people with high cultivation. If the things you want to buy are ordinary, then it would be fine, but if it is something precious, then I am afraid that it would not work. After the 2 of them found a rest stop, Liang Kursen spoke to Ning Cheng with some concern. Ning Cheng rubbed his forehead and spoke, "Oh, I know, but this thing is too important to me. I'm going to change my appearance." Ning Cheng was also very clear in his heart. Even if he changed his appearance, at most he would only be able to make a few soul essence cultivators unable to see through him. Once he met a cultivator in the soul sculpting realm or above, then his appearance changing would not be of much use. Although Lan Shu had given him a mask, but this mask's grade was not very high. Liang Kursen showed a faint smile as she took out a pill and handed it to Ning Cheng and spoke. This is a form-changing pill. Not only can it temporarily change your appearance, but it can also change your aura. After you take the form-changing pill, and then change your appearance, even a crucible transformation cultivator would not necessarily be able to recognize you. Ning Cheng felt happy in his heart as he quickly took the pill and immediately spoke out in shock. Level 7 pill? This thing is too precious. Ning Cheng was a grand master of alchemy. As such he was not able to refine rank 5 pills, not to mention rank 7 pills. Since we're friends, of course we should help each other. I found a ruin, and this pill was obtained from that ruin. Besides, you're even willing to give me a level 9 pure yang fire ginseng. What does a level 7 medicinal pill count for? However, the effect of this pill can only last for up to 24 hours. After this time, the medicinal effect will automatically disappear. Liang Kursen replied in a serious tone. Good, then many thanks junior apprentice Sister Liang. Ning Cheng put away the pill. He knew that this thing would be useful to him. The Heavenly Stars auction house was one of the 3 major auctions in the peripheral makeshift market of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. As such, large-scale auctions were held quite frequently. At the auction reception area, there were all kinds of things being sent to be auctioned every day. Of course, the value of the items that could be auctioned at the Heavenly Stars auction house couldn't be too low. If it was too low, it wouldn't be qualified to come to this place. At the Heavenly Stars auction house, not only would there be detailed records, but there would also be a crystal ball given to the seller. If there was any unilateral breach of contract, the seller could copy the crystal ball and send it out at any time. Therefore, the reputation of the 3 major auctions on the periphery of the Rainbow Fall Sword sect had always been very good. Coupled with the large number of cultivators coming and going from the Rainbow Fall makeshift market, these 3 major auctions also grew bigger and bigger. Even in some of the other cities, they also had branches. Today's auction was not considered a big one for Heavenly Stars auction house. At best, it was only an above-average auction. Heavenly Stars auction house would hold this kind of auction once or twice a month. I have something to put up for auction and would like to put it up for auction tonight. Ning Cheng walked into the reception of the auction house and spoke out in a very direct manner. At this time, he had already changed his appearance to that of a middle-aged man with a black face, and had also taken an appearance-changing pill. A soul essence second-level cultivator saw that Ning Cheng only had the cultivation of profound congealing third level and did not move, but frowned and spoke. Tonight's auction will start in an hour, as such you can only place your item in the auction at the end of the month. Ning Cheng did not refute, and just took out 2 jade bottles and placed them on the table and spoke. These are 2 bottles of spiritual enhancement true nectar. If Heavenly Stars auction house is willing to put it up for auction tonight, then I will put it up for auction here. If they do not agree, then I will change to another auction house. After saying those words, the imposing aura around Ning Cheng's body instantly rose up as a powerful spiritual consciousness fluctuated out, causing this soul essence second-level cultivator to feel shocked in his heart. This person was definitely not a profound congealing cultivator, he was at least a soul essence cultivator, and the opposite party had concealed his cultivation. However, what shocked him the most was not that Ning Cheng had concealed his cultivation, but rather the things that Ning Cheng had taken out for auction. Even if Ning Cheng was a crucible transformation cultivator, he would not be able to act arrogantly in the Heavenly Stars auction house. But if Ning Cheng really took out the spiritual enhancement true nectar, then it would definitely be a good thing. Just based on the rarity of the spiritual enhancement true nectar, it was more than enough to make Heavenly Stars auction house agree to Ning Cheng's request. Spiritual enhancement true nectar? The soul essence cultivator quickly grabbed one of the jade bottles, and after opening it with his spiritual consciousness, he once again spoke up. It really is the spiritual enhancement true nectar. If you can't make the decision, then you can ask someone else. I will wait here. Ning Cheng spoke in a flat tone. Ning Cheng originally wanted to take out the exotic desolate extreme essence to sell, but considering that he might need to refine a long spear in the future, this thing was a very precious material. Moreover, he had a lot of spiritual enhancement true nectar, so it would not be a problem for him to sell a dozen barrels. I can make the decision. The soul essence cultivator put down the jade bottle in his hands and spoke to Ning Cheng in an extremely serious tone. These 2 bottles of spiritual enhancement true nectar are very valuable, moreover the quantity is also not small. However, our auction house will take a 15% commission. But I also have a condition. I want to participate in tonight's auction and will need a private box. Ning Cheng immediately agreed. For him, this was equivalent to collecting taxes. Of course, there is no problem. The soul essence cultivator on seeing Ning Cheng was very straightforward, also spoke in a polite tone. Saying that, he took out an entry jade card and handed it to Ning Cheng. Your room is number 178. You can enter the room with this entry jade card. After Ning Cheng received the jade card and thanked him, he thought for a moment before asking, "Excuse me, how much can a bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar be sold for?" The soul essence cultivator pondered for a moment before speaking. In our auction house, a bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar can be sold for at least 800,000 to 1 million spirit stones. So little? Ning Cheng repeated the sentence in surprise. He currently had 13 million spirit stones on him. The reason why he took out the spiritual enhancement true nectar for the auction was to gather enough spirit stones to purchase the whereabouts of the geocentric 9 essence. He did not expect that the 2 bottles would only be sold for around 2 million spirit stones. This was really beyond his expectations. The soul essence cultivator at the reception gave a smile and spoke. Actually, this price is not a small one. Considering the value of the things being auctioned tonight, these 2 bottles of spiritual enhancement true nectar are not very high. However, the spiritual enhancement true nectar is very rare. I heard that it is only available in the Le Continent's Law's way. Therefore, if this kind of thing is auctioned, it would definitely be of some benefit to our auction house. Of course, if there are several cultivators who need this kind of thing at the same time, then the price would rise sharply. It would not be surprising for it to be sold for a few million spirit stones. Ning Cheng was surprised in his heart. He had originally wanted to take out some other things for auction. but after hearing the words of this soul essence cultivator, he immediately dispelled the idea. Not to mention that the spiritual enhancement true nectar that he had taken out was already very eye-catching, but the other party had already said that it was from the Luke Continent's law's way. If he took out other good things, then he would definitely be listed as a key target. Besides, he did not have many good things compared to some of the powerful cultivators. He only had 3 or 4 good things. Understanding this point, Ning Qing immediately said his goodbyes and left. Ning Qing entered the Heavenly Stars auction house and found the number 178. Only then did he come to know that his room was the worst among the boxes. Ning Qing did not care about it. After all, the value of the spiritual enhancement true nectar was not as high as he had imagined. For someone to take out a box for him was already very good. The Tian continent's heaven and earth laws were more complete than the Lu continent's. As such, it was normal for the value of the spiritual enhancement true nectar to be lower. Besides, the number of soul essence cultivators in the Lu continent was not comparable to the number of soul essence cultivators in the Tian continent. As such, the spiritual enhancement true nectar was obviously much more useful to the lower-leveled cultivators. But it was not something that a random profound core cultivator could easily come up with 1,000,000 spirit stones. After Ning Qing entered the box, he very carefully placed a few array formation restrictions on the box. The auction had not yet started. As such, Ning Qing could only sit in the box and wait. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, the cultivators participating in the auction had already entered the auction house. But Ning Qing saw that Sun Hanrui had also entered the auction house. Together with her was the Soul Essence 5th level cultivator who had ridiculed Fu Xiaomei for being a sissy. Looking at the expressions of the two people, Ning Qing knew that they definitely wanted to buy something more important. After the time it took for half an incense stick to burn, a pretty-looking female cultivator walked onto the auction stage. She first cupped her fists towards the people around her. Before she spoke, "Thank you everyone for participating in the Heavenly Stars auction. This auction is just like the past, and will certainly not disappoint the participants. Moreover, there is also a small surprise for tonight's auction. There is a thing that rarely appeared before, but will also appear tonight." Good, let's not talk about the small talk. Let's start with the first thing. As this pretty-looking female cultivator finished, she suddenly raised her hand, and a thing the size of a longan fruit appeared in her hand. Chapter 261. This thing exuded a soft milky white luster, with a strong spiritual qi escaping from it. Even if one's spiritual consciousness swept over it, it would give one a comfortable feeling. Ning Qing was too familiar with this thing. He had once obtained 7 of them, but he had already used them up. This was a best quality spirit stone. In general, in a spirit stone mine, the number of best quality spirit stones was limited. No one would use a theoretical comparison to exchange a best quality spirit stone for a high-grade spirit stone. This kind of thing simply could not be treated as a spirit stone. Everyone has seen this kind of thing a lot. Yes, this is a best quality spirit stone. I have a total of 5 best quality spirit stones here. The base price is 100,000 high-grade spirit stones, and each increment must not be less than 5,000 spirit stones. The pretty female cultivator presiding over the auction was still talking, but Ning Qing had already decided to buy these 5 best quality spirit stones. Best quality spirit stones were very important to him, and he also wanted to go to the bottom of the blood river in the future. Ning Qing had already decided, in any case, before he obtained the best quality spirit stones, he would never go to the bottom of the blood river. With the best quality spirit stones, even if that skeleton could not fulfill its promise, he could still walk away. 110,000, 120,000. Ning Qing just thought about it, and the price of the best quality spirit stone immediately rose to 230,000. Moreover, the price was still rising, and the price soon reached 500,000. At this time, Ning Qing realized that the base price of 100,000 and the price of the best quality spirit stones were worlds apart. The price soon approached 1,000,000, and when the price reached 1,000,000, the number of people bidding decreased. After all, no one was willing to use best quality spirit stones for cultivation, and the cultivators who bought best quality spirit stones were also just in case. But to spend a lot of high-grade spirit stones to purchase this kind of thing just in case, it was not worthwhile. 1 million. Ning Cheng directly added 100,000 on the base price of 1 million. After the price of the best quality spirit stones reached 1 million, there were not many people who directly added 100,000. Although best quality spirit stones were precious, but they could often be seen in major auctions, and could not be regarded as rare. Even if they could not buy it this time, they could always buy it next time. After Ning Cheng added 100,000, his heart was completely exposed. No one was willing to compete with a cultivator in terms of spirit stones, unless they had more spirit stones than they could spend. Sure enough, after Ning Cheng added 100,000, no one continued to increase the price, and Ning Cheng bought the 5 best quality spirit stones. Our second auction item is an artifact crafting material, Cosmic True Devil Metal. Many people knew the value of the true Cosmic Devil Metal. It was a supreme treasure for crafting artifacts. It could be used to refine Cosmic True Gold or Extreme Devil True Gold. Even if it was not refined, it could still be used as a top-grade material for refining. This true Cosmic Devil Metal's base price is 500,000 high-grade spirit stones, and each bid increment must not be lower than 10,000. As the pretty-looking female cultivator finished speaking, she picked up a fist-sized piece of artifact crafting material. The material exuded a faint demonic qi, which everyone could feel. Ning Cheng was secretly startled in his heart. This little bit of true Cosmic Devil Metal could be quoted at 500,000 spirit stones, then the price it could sell for would definitely be much higher than that. Lan Shu had given him a piece of true devil metal that could be used to refine the Cosmic True Devil Axe. Just how much was it worth? Wouldn't that be hundreds of millions of spirit stones? The true Cosmic Devil Metal was obviously much more popular than the best grade spirit stones. In just a few breaths of time, the price had soared to 3 million high-grade spirit stones. Ning Cheng sucked in a mouthful of cold air. He knew that he owed Lan Shu a huge favor. It seems that he would not be able to casually take out the Cosmic True Devil Axe in the future. In case someone realized that this was the true Cosmic Devil Metal, then it would be equivalent to using a golden knife to fight with people. Finally, this piece of true Cosmic Devil Metal was bought for 2 million high-grade spirit stones, causing Ning Cheng to feel that the value of the true Cosmic Devil Axe was even higher. Subsequently, the soul-chasing illusion loop, Scarlet Heaven-flying Scorpion Pagoda, Heaven Wave Needle and other magical weapons appeared. Each of them had a price of more than 500,000 high-grade spirit stones. The most expensive Heaven Wave Needle was even sold for a price of 1.3 million spirit stones. On the contrary, materials and spiritual grasses did not appear much. It could be estimated that the auction house knew that it was not cost-effective to auction spiritual grasses and materials separately. Only by refining these spiritual grasses and materials into pills and magical weapons would they be able to sell for a high price. After Ning Cheng bought 5 best-grade spirit stones, he did not make another move. Now we are going to auction what I mentioned before. It is something that has rarely appeared before. The pretty-looking female cultivator spoke while holding up a jade bottle. I heard that this kind of thing only appears in the Luke Continent's Law's Way, which is also known as the Pseudo-Heaven's Way. It is a good thing for people to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth, as well as to comprehend the Tao charm. For the cultivator friends who have been stuck in a certain realm for many years, after obtaining this kind of thing, they might be able to break through in an instant. The pretty-looking female cultivator's words had not yet finished, when the auction hall immediately turned noisy. Anything that could allow one to break through in their cultivation was definitely a top-quality thing, and was definitely a treasure without a doubt. Everyone please calm down. Many of you have already guessed what I'm talking about. That's right, it is indeed the Spiritual Enhancement True Nectar. Of course, the Spiritual Enhancement True Nectar cannot guarantee that you will have a 100% chance of breaking through, because this is not a spirit pill, but rather a kind of spiritual liquid. If you think that your ability to comprehend is good, then you can make your move. Of course, if you think that your ability to comprehend is just average, then buying it would be tantamount to a waste, then you can just wait for us to bring out the next good thing. This female cultivator presiding over the auction was very good at speaking. With just a few words, she was able to stir up the emotions of everyone. Except for a few people, no one felt that their ability to comprehend was worse than others. The people who came here to participate in the auction were all people with a certain level of cultivation. Without a certain level of perception, how could they cultivate to a certain degree? The starting price of this bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar is 1 million spirit stones. The minimum bid increment must not be less than 50,000. Hearing the price quoted by the female cultivator, Ning Cheng was truly a bit surprised. He had asked the soul essence deacon at the reception, but he was told that the value of this bottle was only a few million spirit stones. But now that the starting price was already 1 million, the final price would definitely not be low. 1 million. 2 million. 9 million. Ning Cheng was pleasantly surprised that the price of this bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar quickly climbed to 9 million. Moreover, the price was still rising. He had such a large pool of spiritual enhancement true nectar in his ring. Just how much wealth was this? However, Ning Cheng quickly put aside this idea. The rarer something was, the more precious it was, if he took out a large pool of it. Regardless of whether it was realistic or not, maybe the final price of this bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar would only be 100,000 spirit stones. Finally, this bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar was bought for a price of 2 million, causing Ning Cheng to be overjoyed. It indicated that he had earned more than 4 million spirit stones. If he added the other bottle, then his income would reach more than 8 million spirit stones. Sure enough, the second bottle of spiritual enhancement true nectar was once again sold for 5 million spirit stones, which made Ning Cheng feel much more assured in his heart. He now had a base of 20 million spirit stones. As such, buying a place where the geocentric 9-in essence would appear, it should not be a problem, right? Ning Cheng had already decided to buy this thing and immediately leave. If not for the geocentric 9-in essence, he simply did not want to participate in this kind of auction that he was not qualified to participate in. The next item is an artifact crafting material. Moreover, it is a top-grade material for crafting flight-type magical weapons. Everyone, please take a look at these 2 feathers. The pretty-looking female cultivator spoke as she held up 2 silver feathers that were 3 feet long and half a foot wide. The 2 feathers in her hands exuded a faint luster. It was as if they were an incomparably light world, as they fluttered in her hands. A burst of exclamations spread out. It was obvious that many people knew what these feathers were. Ning Cheng was also amazed, and even felt a little excited in his heart. Although he did not know how to craft artifacts, it did not mean that he did not know what it was. Over the years, he had seen a lot of jade strips that introduced all kinds of materials. Moreover, he himself was also a talisman grandmaster. These silver feathers could be used to craft talismans, and were also a first-class material. Ning Cheng was excited. It was absolutely not because this thing could be used to craft talismans, but because he knew that this feather belonged to a kind of flying phoenix. This kind of flying phoenix was called the taintless flying phoenix. The top-grade taintless flying phoenix had 2 main feathers on its body. These 2 main feathers were silvery white in color, and were called the taintless silver wing feathers. The pretty-looking female cultivator on the stage was holding up the main feather of the taintless flying phoenix, the taintless silver wing feathers. The speed of the taintless flying phoenix was incomparably fast, and was simply difficult to catch. The main feather of the taintless flying phoenix was even more priceless. The main feather of the top-grade taintless flying phoenix could be used to craft a very high-quality flight-type true artifact magical weapon. Moreover, for Ning Cheng, these 2 taintless silver wing feathers also had another use, which was to allow his twin heavenly cloud wings to advance. Regarding the introduction of the twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves, Ning Cheng did not know much. He only knew that these 2 leaves could be refined into the twin heavenly cloud wings, and could even be upgraded. As for the level of the twin heavenly cloud wings, Ning Cheng was not very clear about it. But there was one thing that Ning Cheng was sure of, that was that the twin heavenly cloud wings introduction of 1,000 miles in a flash was absolutely not false. But his twin heavenly cloud wings, compared to the 1,000 miles in a flash, was still too far away. If he could obtain this pair of taintless silver wing feathers, then he could then think of a way to help his twin heavenly cloud wings to advance. How good would that be? Before he came to the auction, he did not know that there was such a feather being auctioned. It seems that the poster outside only had a few rare things written on it. This is a pair of taintless silver wing feathers. These are the two main feathers of the taintless flying phoenix. The value of the taintless silver wing feathers must be very clear to the friends sitting here. Even if you add a piece of taintless silver wing feathers to any flight-type magical weapon, the grade and speed of the flight-type magical weapon would immediately rise by several levels. What's more, here is a pair of... The pretty-looking female cultivator showed a charming smile. Everyone please be quiet. This pair of taintless silver wing feathers has a base price of 5 million spirit stones. Each increment must not be less than 100,000 spirit stones. Now start the bidding. I bid 6 million. This pair of taintless silver wing feathers, I must. A strong voice abruptly appeared. If the previous auction was still going on without any waves, and there was no fighting or petty tricks, then when this pair of taintless silver wing feathers came out, it immediately changed the situation. 5 million. This strong voice obviously did not scare off the others. In just a breath of time, someone interrupted his words and quoted a price. Chapter 262. 7 million. 7 million spirit stones. Ning Cheng heard it very clearly. The voice that called out 7 million spirit stones belonged to Sun Hanrui. He gave a dark sigh in his heart. The big academies were much better. They simply did not need to hide their heads and show their tails, and could directly quote the price. Finally, even if they managed to obtain it, no one would dare to go to the academies. The taintless silver wing feathers were too important to him. If he could purchase these two taintless silver wing feathers, then he would be able to have countless opportunities to save his life in the future. At the same time, Ning Cheng was also clear, with his current net worth, wanting to purchase the taintless silver wing feathers was simply impossible. According to this price, this pair of taintless silver wing feathers would soon break through the 10 million spirit stones mark. Wealth comes from danger. If one did not take the risk, then one would not be able to obtain this pair of taintless silver wing feathers. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng pressed the call button in the booth. In the Heavenly Stars auction booth, there was a temporary call button. Once a cultivator came across a good thing, but their spirit stones were not enough, they could press this button. After this button was pressed, someone from the auction house would immediately come to contact them. At this time, you could use your own things as collateral to borrow the spirit stones from the auction house, but most of the cultivators would sell their own things to the auction house, in exchange for spirit stones. Because of this button, every year the auction house would bring in hundreds of millions of spirit stones in extra income. After Ning Cheng pressed the button, in just a few breaths, a charming young woman arrived at Ning Cheng's booth. This young woman gave Ning Cheng a bow, and spoke in a soft voice. May I ask how the Heavenly Stars auction house can help you? Ning Cheng clenched his teeth and directly took out 10 bottles of Spiritual Enhancement True Nectar and said, These are 10 bottles of Spiritual Enhancement True Nectar. How many spirit stones can you give me? When the young woman saw the 10 bottles of Spiritual Enhancement True Nectar, she immediately froze, but she quickly reacted, and then spoke again. Please wait a moment. She only stood there for a moment, before she once again spoke to Ning Cheng, 30 million spirit stones. Apparently she had already obtained the reply from above. So ruthless Ning Cheng said in his heart, something worth 50 million spirit stones, was suddenly reduced by 20 million. Even so, Ning Cheng did not hesitate for even half a moment, and directly nodded, deal. Ning Cheng did not take out the mirage stones. This thing was too sensitive. Once he took it out, then perhaps even the auction house would investigate him. After the young woman left, the price of the taintless silver wing feathers had already risen to 17 million spirit stones. Moreover, the price was still rising and there was no sign of it stopping. It could be seen that a good flight-type magical weapon was very important to all cultivators. The price continued to rise. Ning Cheng waited for a while, before the price finally reached 24 million. Ningqing did not hear Sun Hanrui's voice. Even if she was a core disciple of a top-ranked academy, the amount of spirit stones she had on her was also limited. Sun Hanrui did not continue to bid. It was definitely because she did not have enough spirit stones on her. 25 million. Ningqing bid for the first time. With the preciousness of the taintless silver wing feather, at this time, there were only a few people who were bidding for it. Ningqing's abrupt entry into the competition immediately attracted the attention of the entire auction venue. Countless spiritual consciousnesses swept over. However, these spiritual consciousnesses were blocked by Ningqing's restrictions. As for forcibly breaking the restriction to see who Ningqing was, no one had done it yet. In the Heavenly Stars auction house, whether it was the original restrictions of the auction house or the restrictions set up by the guests themselves, if someone forcibly broke the restrictions of the room, it would be equivalent to looking down on the auction house. Then you would have to face the accountability of the Heavenly Stars auction house. This kind of responsibility was not something that an ordinary cultivator could afford. Humph! A cold snort arrived, and then this voice spoke. I bid 26 million spirit stones. I really want to see whose price is higher than my Aoyang provinces. There was no obvious threat, but the threatening tone of the voice was undoubtedly exposed. In the Heavenly Stars auction house, as long as one did not speak any obvious threatening words, then no one would care about you. Although this cultivator's threat was blatant, but he did not say anything about who had a higher price than him, or who was courting death. The auction house would not care about such a thing. Ningqing had already heard this voice. It was the first person who had bid 6 million, and had even said that he must have the taintless silver wing feather. Originally this person was called Aoyang province. Ningqing did not know this Aoyang province, but since this person dared to speak in such a manner, it was obvious that he had some confidence in himself. 27 million. A lazy voice simply did not care about the threat of this Aoyang province, and did not hesitate to increase the price. At this point, the price was no longer increasing by 100,000, but rather increasing by 1 million. 28 million. Ningqing immediately increased the price. Now that he had enough spirit stones on him, wanting to use threats to make him give up on the taintless silver wing feather was absolutely impossible. However, Ningqing also had a bottom line in his heart. Once the price exceeded 40 million, then he would take the initiative to give up. He had already exposed the fact that he had a large amount of spiritual enhancement true nectar on him. If he continued to expose other things, then it would definitely not be a good thing. Interesting. After the lazy voice said that it was interesting, it did not continue to increase the price. 30 million. The voice from Aoyang province once again arrived, but this time it was not a threat, rather it was filled with intense anger. It was obvious that regardless of whether Ningqing bought this taintless silver wing feather or not, he had already offended this person. Ningqing had already thought about it. Once he obtained the taintless silver wing feather, how could he even put the threat from the Aoyang province in his eyes? He even dared to kill Guiyuhai of the Guiyuan city. Moreover, the Guiyuan city had the existence of a crucible transformation cultivator. That Aoyang province was even more powerful, but he was not a crucible transformation cultivator. In order to improve his own strength, what else would he not dare to do? 35 million. Ningqing simply ignored the angry voice from the Aoyang province and continued to increase the price. 32 million, but this friend just increased the price by 55. It really is boring. If you can't afford it, then don't buy it. If you want to buy it, then the price increase would always be less than others. Don't you feel ashamed of yourself? You might as well go home and ask your wife for a few more spirit stones, and then come here to bid. This time the one who increased the price was the lazy voice. He not only directly increased the price by 1.5 million, but also squeezed out Ningqing and the Aoyang province. His words were incomparably unpleasant to hear. Everyone knew what he meant, but the people who loved their face would still be squeezed out by him. The Aoyang province was a person who loved his face. Moreover, the price had already reached such a degree, it had already reached the bottom line that he could bear. If he wanted to increase the price, then he would have to increase it by at least 1.5 million spirit stones, bringing the total price to 33.5 million. Otherwise he would just be making a fool of himself. The anger in the bottom of the Aoyang province's heart was rising an inch at a time. The reason why he signed up to threaten Ning Cheng was because he had some fame. If he increased the price by a little in front of so many people, then his reputation of making a fool of himself would definitely spread out. While the Aoyang province was hesitating for a moment, Ning Cheng immediately made a bid. What this old man said is right, adding a little bit of spirit stones each time really is a disgrace. I bid 40 million. Alas, since I have already come to this auction, why would I want to make a fool of myself? As soon as Ning Cheng's bid came out, it immediately caused a sensation in the entire auction venue. This time he increased the price by 8 million spirit stones. If he did not want to make a fool of himself, then the next bid would be at least 48 million. If he wanted to be able to hold his head high, then he would have to bid more than 50 million. The Aoyang province gave a stuffy snort as he clenched his fists. He could not wait to immediately rush towards Ning Cheng and that lazy-looking kid's room and blow up the other party's booth, and then pick up these two kids and tear them apart. But even if he had 10,000 guts, he would not dare to do such a thing in the Heavenly Stars auction venue. Good, you have guts? That lazy voice no longer had that lazy tone from before. After he spoke those words, all the people knew that the auction of the taintless silver wing feathers, the winner of booth 178 was the booth. How many spirit stones do we have left? In a booth that was several times more advanced than Ning Cheng's booth, a fair-skinned, quiet-looking middle-aged cultivator asked in a cold voice. Senior apprentice Brotherwin, we still have 42 million spirit stones. Do you want to continue to increase the price? A male cultivator sitting next to this quiet-looking middle-aged cultivator quickly spoke up. The quiet-looking middle-aged cultivator waved his hand and spoke. No need, continuing to increase the price would only bring disgrace to oneself. In a moment you can go and find out who this person is. He is very arrogant. He is even more arrogant than that Aoyang province. The middle-aged cultivator's heart was stuffy with anger. He did not think that he would lift a stone and smash it on his own feet. He was sure that even if he increased the price to 42 million spirit stones, he would still not be able to buy the taintless silver wing feathers. Later on he would not be able to continue to compete. Instead he would be even more ridiculed by the people. Unsurprisingly, a pair of taintless silver wing feathers was delivered into the hands of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng suppressed the excitement in his heart and did not immediately look at this pair of taintless silver wing feathers. He was still a bit worried in his heart, in case because of bidding for this pair of taintless silver wing feathers, he would not have enough spirit stones to buy the jade strip, then it would really be bad for him. The pretty-looking female cultivator smiled. Just a moment ago the taintless silver wing feathers were sold for 40 million high-grade spirit stones. This was definitely a sky-high price. A moment ago the pair of taintless silver wing feathers was obtained by the elder brother from booth 178. The whole process was very wonderful. Congratulations to this elder brother. This elder brother immediately threw out 40 million spirit stones. It really is a heroic spirit that soars to the sky and is incomparably powerful. We also hope that this kind of wonderful auction will continue to appear. The next item that we are going to take out for auction is a jade strip. The pretty-looking female cultivator did not seem to know that her words not only made the other two people even more ashamed and angry, but also helped Ning Cheng to draw even more hatred. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.